To this, let's see that arm. They got the signal. There's the windup. There's the pitch.
And hello, everyone, and welcome into Washington, Pennsylvania, where today your Washington Wild Things continue their three-game series with the Evansville Otters. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler here on the MSA Sports Network, taking you through the entire 2016 season for your Washington Wild Things. Wild Things dropped game one of this series by a score of 3-2 last night, losing in the 8th inning. We're going to go over a recap of that game. We also have a look at some more roster moves made by your Washington Wild Things. Going to take a look, one new Wild Thing, one Wild Thing back off of the disabled list. We'll take a look at both of those players here during the pregame show. Also going to look at who's leading the team in terms of stats so far here in the 2016 season, just 4 days into the month of June, so we've played a half month of baseball. Going to take a look at who's hot right now for your Washington Wild Things, leading all of the different categories. We also have lineups and first pitch. It's all coming up right here for you on the MSA Sports Network. First, as we said last night, the Washington Wild Things, unfortunately, dropping game one of this three-game series to the Evansville Otters. However, the Wild Things had multiple opportunities to really break the game open. In inning number one, not much happened for them. The first two batters out pretty quickly, a double by Brian Harr, but that was all the Wild Things could muster. However, in inning number two, they scored the first run of the ball game after Ricky Rodriguez led things off with a double. Then one batter later, Grant Fink would single, moving runners to first and third, with one out. Then Alex McKeon would come up and rip an RBI single to the left side, and it was a backhanded stop made by the shortstop Ronaldo Gomez, but by the time he got the ball, he had no play at either home, second, or first, so that scored the first run of the ball game and gave your Wild Things a 1-0 lead. Wild Things a big opportunity to blow things open in inning number three, as after one out, Brian Harr, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez hit back-to-back-to-back singles to load the bases with only one away. Then Andrew Heck would step up. He would ground out to the third baseman, who would throw home and retire Brian Harr. That was out number two. And then out number three, another ground out to third base by Grant Fink would end the inning. So the Wild Things smolder a chance there in the third. Then in the top of the fourth, the Evansville Otters got on the board and tied the game. Josh Allen, the second baseman, hitting his second home run of the 2016 season, a solo shot to tie the score at 1. John Schultz would triple following that home run, and a sac fly by Chris Breen will give the Evansville Otters a 2-1 lead in inning number three. After that, Nick Baylaw would walk, Chris Sweeney would single, but however they were stranded at first and second as Kurt Wirtz Jr. flew out to left and J.D. Dorgan grounded out to third base. For the Washington Wild Things, they were able to get that to tie the game back up in the bottom of inning number four. Alex McKeon started things off with a single. Then Austin Wobrock grounded into a fielder's choice, so Wobrock replaced McKeon at first base. So with one out, there was a runner at first, and Jamal Austin would double down the right field line. Runners to be at second and third. However, the throw in by right fielder Kurt Wirtz Jr. was wild to second base. It allowed Wobrock to score, and that would tie the game at 2-2. And really, after giving up those two runs in inning number four, starting pitcher Matt Frodden was very good. After that, he had a 1-2-3 inning. In inning number five, faced four batters in inning number six, and in inning number seven, retired the Evansville Otters 1-2-3, and totally through 7 innings of work, gave up 2 runs, both of which earned on 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 3 walks. So Frodden really continuing the great string of starting pitching the Wild Things have had here over the last week or so. He's done a nice job of keeping that going. Tonight, we're going to see Luke Wilkins. Wilkins coming off of the disabled list, making his first start of the 2016 season. So we'll see how that goes for him, see if he can keep the ball rolling in terms of starting pitchers. The Wild Things would have an opportunity in the bottom of the 7th to try to take the lead as Brian Harr started things off with a pop out. Then Dave Popkins would walk. Ricky Rodriguez followed that with a walk of his own. And then Andrew Heck would single, so the bases were loaded again for the Wild Things with only one away. However, they would fail to score again as Grant Fink would strike out and Alex McKeon would pop out to end inning number 7, and the Wild Things would end up having to pay for not coming through with the bases loaded and 1 out for the second inning in the game. As to start off the 8th inning, Ronaldo Gomez singled, and Josh Allen, a big day for Allen, hit an RBI double, gave the Evansville Otters a 3-2 lead. Colin Stanley giving up the runs there as Stanley came in to relieve in inning number 8. After that, Stanley would retire the last 3 batters of the inning, getting John Schultz to ground out. Chris Breen struck out, and Nick Baylog grounded out to first base. Wild Things 1-2-3 in the 8th, so not much going on the back racks that way. In inning number 9, Stanley, a good inning of work, struck out the first man he faced, then walked Kurt Wirtz Jr., and then got the final 2 men of the inning to ground out as J.D. Dorgan and Christopher Rio Pedre each grounded out to third base, and that would end the inning. The Wild Things had one more chance in inning number 9, but they suffered as they went 1-2-3 against Randy McCurry, the closer for these Evansville Otters. You had Brian Harr ground out, Dave Popkins struck out, and Ricky Rodriguez would strike out to end the inning. So the Wild Things, we said, lose 3-2 in last night's ball game. Get a good outing from a starting pitcher, but once again, that offense falling flat. That's one thing the Wild Things really need to pick up on as this season has progressed. They've got very good starting pitching, but the offense just has not done enough this year. We'll see if that offense can get going here in Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. We're going to take a break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we get back, going to look at some roster moves made by your Washington Wild Things. A man added, and Luke Wilkins, as we said, coming off the disabled list. We'll take a look at both of them. You're listening to MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. As we said, Wild Things dropped last night's game by a score of 3-2 to the Otters, losing Game 1. Some more roster moves for your brought a man off the disabled list and signed a new man to the team. We're going to go talk about the guy coming off the DL first. He's starting tonight, starting pitcher Luke Wilkins. Wilkins pitched for the Wild Things last year, went 8-5 with a 3.31 ERA in 20 starts. He struck out 77 batters and walked 45 in 125 innings of work. So again, another guy who's not really a strikeout pitcher. We don't see a lot of those on this Wild Things roster. Not a lot of guys, with maybe the exception of Trevor Foss, who are really good at getting key strikeouts when they need it. But that's okay. You have contact pitchers, you have to have good defenders. And the Wild Things have been kind of lacking the defense department here in these last couple games, but when they play to the potential that they can play at, this is a very good defense, and it serves contact hitters very well. So Luke Wilkins making his return, 8-5 last year, as we said, 3.31. He also spent some time pitching in his hometown of Sydney, Australia, pitched for the Sydney Blue Sox, and in 3 games with them went 1-1, 3 games, 1 start with a 8.10 ERA, striking out 2 and walking 4 in 6 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 7 runs, 6 earned with the Sydney Blue Sox. So a very small sample size with Sydney Blue Sox. He has played for the Washington Wild Things, and that's something we can look forward to. Fans can be familiar with Luke Wilkins. Wilkins on the hill tonight. The other roster move that the Wild Things made, they signed infielder Logan Ox. Ox last year played for the Delmarva Shorebirds, a single-A team for the Baltimore Orioles, and last year Ox split time between advanced single-A and full single-A. Hit .245 with 8 home runs and 39 RBIs, 19 doubles and 5 triples. He struck out 65 times and walked 33. Ox in the lineup tonight playing first base, and this guy's a big man. I met him before the game, and he was on the lower step of the dugout. I was still looking up to him. He is a very tall man standing in 6'4", 220. So a very tall guy at first base, but that's what you want if you're the Wild Things. You want a tall guy over there who can make a lot of stops at first base and really limit errors. Although Ox making his Wild Things debut tonight and hitting 6. We're going to go over the lineup here in a couple of minutes, but Ox making his Wild Things debut tonight. Jimmy Yezzo, the normal Wild Things first baseman, is spending time as the designated hitter tonight, getting you ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series here between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters from Consol Energy Park as we are getting ready for baseball. Going to take another break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we're going to look at the category leaders for both of these teams early on in the season. Keep it right here on the MSA Sports Network for more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. I'm Zach Ziegler. Wild Things losing Game 1 of this series 3-2. Look to even the series in tonight's game. We got cloud cover, a chance of rain all night. Hopefully the rain holds off. We will see if that's the case. Currently cloudy outside over Consol Energy Park, and the threat is there, but we'll see how it goes. Right now, before we get to the national anthem, as the Wild Things currently taking the field for that national anthem, going to look at the team leaders. First for the Evansville Otters, they're led offensively and average by Nick Baylog. Baylog currently hitting .405. Then Chris Breen, .345, and second Christopher Rio Pedre, 343. He sits in third. In the home run department, Kurt Sweeney is in first with 4. Then Chris Breen and Ronaldo Gomez each tied with 3. In the RBI category, Chris Sweeney leads things again as he does in home runs as well. 16 RBIs. Nick Baylog next with 13, and Ronaldo Gomez sits in third. Gomez has 11. On the pitching side, Shane Weedman leads the team in wins with 3. Tyler Vale in strikeouts with 26, and Luke Rennie in ERA with 0. And for your Washington Wild Things, Dave Popkins leads the team in average. Popkins' average currently sits at 311. Then in second, Alex McKeon with 306. Getting ready for the national anthem here. We're going to take you down to the field at Consol Energy Park. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
And now direct your attention to the Wild Things logo behind home plate. Let's welcome tonight's national anthem singers. So please stand, gentlemen and boys, remove your caps as we honor America, and let's welcome the Legacy Baptist Church.
Stripes and bright stars through the How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting ready for action here in Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. I'm Zach Ziegler taking you through the entire Washington Wild Things 2016 season. They're currently removing the giant flag off the field that they had in left center field, and we are getting ready for baseball as the Wild Things are on the field getting ready to do their warm-up tosses. Wild Things have the kids run out with the starters prior to the game, so the kids also currently leaving the field. As the flag goes off to left center, the Wild Things take their positions, and we are ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series. While the Wild Things getting ready on the field, we're going to take a look at their defensive alignment. In the outfield, left to right, we have Andrew Heck, Jamal Austin, and Dave Popkins. On the left side of the infield, it'll be Ricky Rodriguez and Austin Wobrock. And on the right side of the infield, it'll be Brian Haar and Logan Ox. Ox making his Wild Things debut at first base. And behind the plate will be Alex McKeon catching Luke Wilkins. Wilkins also making his 2016 Frontier League debut. Has pitched for the Wild Things last year. Had a record of 8-5, a 3.31 ERA. Struck out 77 batters and walked 45 in 125 innings of work, while also giving up 120 hits. He gave up 54 runs, 46 of them earned. Wilkins also pitching in his hometown of Sydney, Australia. Pitched for the Sydney Blue Sox, where he went 1-1 in 3 games, just one start, and gave up and walked 4 and struck out 2 in 6 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up 7 runs, 6 earned for the Sydney Blue Sox. And before the Evansville Otters take their first at-bat, going to take a look at their lineup tonight. They'll lead off with their shortstop, Ronaldo Gomez. Hitting second at second base will be Josh Allen. In the 3-hole, left fielder John Schultz. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Chris Breen. In the 5 spot at first base will be Nick Baylog. Batting sixth, playing in center field, Chris Sweeney. Hitting 7th and in right field will be Kurt Wirtz Jr. Batting 8th behind the plate, Julio Rodriguez. Hitting 9th and rounding out the lineup, hitting 9th and playing at third base, Christopher Rio Pedre. On the mound for the Evansville Otters will be Max Duvall. Duvall is a right-handed pitcher, standing 6'5", 240. We'll see him in the bottom of this inning number 1. But we're getting ready for Wild Things baseball. I'd like to remind you, you're listening to Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. This broadcast brought to you by Bethany College, Consol Energy, and True Power America. Throw going down to second base, and baseball is ready to be played here from a cloudy Consol Energy Park. Wild Things in their home white jerseys with the white pants. Evansville Otters wearing their blue alternate jerseys, white lettering, and their gray pants. Ready for baseball here is Ronaldo Gomez. The shortstop will step in to start things here in the top of inning number 1. Gomez on the year is hitting .316, 3 home runs, and 11 RBIs. This Evansville team, a very talented offensive unit. As Gomez stepping in now, Luke Wilkins looks in, has his sign. Here's his first pitch of 2016. And it's high and outside for a ball, ball 1. That first pitch was thrown at 7:08 Eastern Time, and it's currently 70 degrees outside. First pitch time and temperature is brought to you by State Line, Restaurant, and Hotspot. Wilkins 1-0. Another bunting attempt, but this one will be inside as well. 2 balls and no strikes. So Luke Wilkins, first 2 pitches out of the gate, not in the strike zone as he's looking to find it here for the first strike of 2016. Wilkins set. Here's the 2-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 2 balls and a strike. For Luke Wilkins, key for him getting this first inning out of the way. You're going to have the first inning jitters here making your 2016 debut. Let's see how he handles it. The 2-1. And that one's high as well. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike here to Ronaldo Gomez to start the game. Luke Wilkins, as we said, coming off the disabled list, making his first start of the 2016 season. Wilkins set the 3-1. And that one's high as well, so ball 4. Leadoff walk for Luke Wilkins gives the Evansville Otters a runner on base with nobody out. here in the top of inning number 1, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Josh Allen. Allen, a big day yesterday, on the year now after that big day, hitting .316, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. A solo shot in last night's game. Also drove in 2 of his team's 3 runs. Wilkins has his sign, looks into McKeon. Checks first, here's the pitch. And that one's a called strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, as we said. Luke Wilkins from Sydney, Australia, making his 2016 Frontier League debut. Wilkins set. Here's the 0-1. And that one swung on and fouled away, so the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. That ball off the glove of catcher Alex McKeon behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Ronaldo Gomez standing at first base. He walked to lead off the game. Wilkins set. And a throw over to first. Gomez is back. Count remains 0-2. For Ronaldo Gomez at first base, he has 10 stolen bases on the year, so a guy worth watching over there at first. The pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wilkins couldn't get Allen to chase that outside pitch. 1-2 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the first. Just underway at Consol Energy Park. Ronaldo Gomez at first. He led off the game with a walk. Wilkins 1-2. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Josh Allen. There's his first strikeout of 2016. And there's one away here in the top of inning number 1. That'll bring up the left fielder, John Schultz. Schultz on the year is hitting .197, no home runs, and 8 RBIs. So Wilkins gets that first out of 2016 out of the way, maybe getting some more jitters out, getting more comfortable on the mound against these Evansville Otters. The right-hander, as we said, coming off the disabled list today. Wilkins looks in to Schultz. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch coming. Kicks and deals. And that one is just low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Wilkins trying to hit the outside corner there and missed it and was just a little bit low below the kneecaps of John Schultz. Wilkins has his sign. Checks Gomez at first. And the 1-0. There goes Gomez for second. The pitch outside to throw down by McKeon is not going to be in time, and it goes to center field. Jamal Austin retrieves it quickly. So it's a stolen base for Ronaldo Gomez. Gomez's 11th stolen base of the year, and the Evansville Otters now have a runner in scoring position with 1 man away. Gomez, as we said, good speed at first base. Not a guy you wanted to walk to start the game. If you're Wilkins, he walked him, and now Gomez stands at second. John Schultz, the batter, 2-0 the count to him, with 1 out here in the top of the first. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks Gomez at second. Here's the 2-0. And that pitch is a called strike right on that outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Wilkins liking that right corner of the plate, inside corner to the right-handed batters, the outside corner to the left-handed batters. He's been using that location a lot here early on against the first 3 hitters of the game. Wilkins is 2-1. And that one on the inside corner for a called strike 2, so the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilkins walked Ronaldo Gomez to start things, then struck out the second batter he faced. So 2-2 the count with 1 out here in the top of the first. Wilkins looking in, has his sign. He's set, checks Gomez at second, the 2-2. And that one's outside for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count goes full here on John Schultz. Chris Breen, the designated hitter, on deck for the Evansville Otters. John Schultz in the batter's box. No score here in the top of the first with 1 away. Evansville does have a runner at second with 1 out. Wilkins has his sign. Takes a look at Gomez. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and he strikes him out. Luke Wilkins, 2 strikeouts here following the leadoff walk, and there are 2 away here in the top of inning number 1. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Chris Breen. Breen on the year, .365, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Hitting in the cleanup spot for the Evansville Otters. Wilkins, 2 outs here in the top of the first after allowing a leadoff walk to Ronaldo Gomez. Back-to-back strikeouts for Josh Allen and John Schultz. And there are 2 away. Wilkins pitch. And that one's in there. Oh, no, it's just outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Your umpires for this evening's ball game, behind home plate, Jacob Asher, and on the bases will be Chuck Adya. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Here kicks in the 1-0. And this ball grounded short. Wobrock handles it over there. Throw across the diamond to first. And that is out number 3. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. And after half an inning, the score, Evansville nothing. Your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. A clean first inning for Luke Wilkins coming off the disabled list as he struck out Josh Allen and John Schultz and got Chris Breeden to ground out after allowing the leadoff walk to Ronaldo Gomez to retire things in the top of inning number 1. Going to the bottom of the first, going to take a look at the defensive alignment for Evansville. In the outfield, left to right, it'll be Schultz, Sweeney, and Wirtz Jr. Left side of the infield, Rio Pedre and Gomez. Right side, Allen and Baylog. And it'll be Julio Rodriguez behind the plate. Catching starting pitcher, Max Duvall. Duvall on the year for the Evansville Otters currently sits at 2-0 with a 3.28 ERA. On 19 hits, 3 walks to 25 strikeouts. So Duvall, a guy who will pound the strike zone. You see only the 3 walks in his first 4 starts to 25 strikeouts. So for the Wild Things, you're going to see a lot of pitches in the strike zone. It's a matter of whether or not they can take advantage of those pitches in the zone. Going to take a look at the Wild Things lineup before they come up here in the bottom of the first. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Jamal Austin. Hitting second, playing DH tonight, Jimmy Yezzo. In the 3-hole at second base will be Brian Haar. Batting cleanup in right field, Dave Popkins. In the 5th spot, playing at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Hitting 6th at first base, Logan Ox. Batting 7th in left field will be Andrew Heck. In the 8th spot, behind the plate, Alex McKeon. And batting 9th and playing at shortstop will be Austin Wobrock. We're ready to start baseball here in the bottom of the first. Jamal Austin stepping in to lead things off. Austin coming into this game with an average of .239, no home runs, and 3 RBIs. It's Max Duvall getting ready to start things here in the bottom of inning number 1. Duvall looking into his catcher, Rodriguez. J.D. Dorgan was behind the plate last night. Duvall set the pitch to Austin. Austin bunting, and he'll pull it away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Jamal Austin reached last night. He's reached in 13 of the 16 games, or 13 of the 17 games he's played this year. 1-0 the count. Here's Duvall's pitch. And that one's on the inside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. Duvall's 1-1. And this ball is grounded softly to the third base side. Handled by Rio Pedre. Throw to first. And there is 1 away here in the bottom of inning number 1. As Austin grounds out on just 3 pitches. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo on the year. 152, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs. Yezzo was the normal first baseman for these Washington Wild Things, but with the signing of Logan Ox getting the start there this evening, so Yezzo brought back to designated hitter duties. Still in that number 2 spot. The 3rd game we've seen him bat in that number 2 hole. Duvall looking into Rodriguez, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one is inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter. 1 out here in the bottom of the first from Consol Energy Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters, the 1-0. And Yezzo pops this one up left side. Rio Pedre beyond the third base bag, now going to foul territory, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 2. So 2-pitch at bat for Yezzo. 5 pitches and 2 outs for Max Duvall so far in this first inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Brian Haar. Haar in the year, .214, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Has been moved around the infield lately, was starting at third base regularly to start the season. He played shortstop in the last game against the Normal Corn Belters, and last night appeared in his first game at second base, starting there again tonight. Max Duvall set. Here's the pitch. And Haar takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count as Haar will try to make Duvall work a little bit. So far only 6 pitches here in inning number 1, and he has 2 outs. Duvall set. Here's the 1-0. And that one's outside as well. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Duvall trying to change sides of the plate, getting Brian Haar to take outside, but Haar wisely lays off, and there's 2 balls to start the count. Duvall set. Here's the 2-0. And that one's outside as well. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Haar on the year has 9 walks to 16 strikeouts. So he has been walked quite a bit to start the season. Here's the 3-0. And that one is in there for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. That one just hitting the knees for Brian Haar. 3-1 the count. A little bit of a drizzle falling here at Consol Energy Park, but not much, as the teams will play through it here on a turf field. So rain, not much of an issue at Consol Energy Park. It's lightning that would be the problem. The 3-1. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Haar thought he had a walk as he started his jog down to first base, but he'll have to stay in the batter's box. 3-2. Dave Popkins, the on-deck batter for the Washington Wild Things. Duvall set. Here's the 3-2. And Haar, a line drive down the left field line, but that'll go foul towards the Evansville bullpen. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Haar, a very hot start to the season. He had 4 home runs in the first week of play. He had 3 against Gateway, and then 1 in Joliet. But ever since then, he's cooled off power-wise. Looking to get back into the swing of things here tonight. The 3-2 from Duvall. And Haar, a fly ball deep to left, but it's hooking, and it will go way foul. If that one stayed fair, it was way gone. But fighting off another pitch, count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. That last pitch coming in at 83 miles an hour, according to the scoreboard. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. Max Duvall on the mound for Evansville has his sign. Set the 3-2 to Haar. And Haar, ground ball to the right side. Rio Pedre has it. His throw to first is in time for out number 3. So 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the first. And after 1, the score. Wild Things nothing, Otters nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently going to the top of inning number 2, and your score sits at 0-0. Luke Wilkins out there for his second inning of work, making his 2016 Frontier League debut. Wilkins in the first inning, not a bad outing as he walked the first man he faced, then got Josh Allen to strike out. John Schultz would strike out as well, and Chris Breen would ground out to end the top of the first. So Wilkins back out there, his first appearance in the 2016 Frontier League season, getting the start tonight against the Evansville Otters. Due up for the Otters to face him here in the second, Nick Baylog, Chris Sweeney, and Kurt Wirtz Jr., 5, 6, and 7. And we're ready for baseball here in the top of the second. Nick Baylog stepping in. For Baylog was just named the Frontier League Week 3 Player of the Week, currently hitting .405, 2 home runs, and 13 RBIs. He had a big week in week 3 of play. Here's the Wilkins first pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Luke Wilkins, as we said, his first appearance from the disabled list here in 2016. Here's the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here in the top of inning number 2. Nobody out, as we said, a slight drizzle falling at Consol, but not much. The 1-1. And that's high and outside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Luke Wilkins from Sydney, Australia. Here's the 2-1. And that ball hit the center field. Jamal Austin going back, and he will make the catch a few steps in front of the track, and that's out number 1 here in inning number 2. Baylog giving that one a deep ride to center field. Jamal Austin, though, just taking a couple steps back and is able to handle it out in center field. It was a line drive, so it definitely did not have the height to get out of here, but Austin able to handle it right in front of the track, and that's out number 1. That'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Sweeney. Sweeney on the year, hitting .227 with 4 home runs and 16 RBIs. Wilkins pitch, and that one's outside and in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes the count. 1 out here in the top of the second. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. Wilkins 1-0. And this ball grounded sharply. Diving try by Rodriguez, but it'll go into left field for a base hit. First hit of the day for the Evansville Otters gives them a 1-out base runner, as that one was hit sharply to the left side. Ricky Rodriguez at third base, a diving attempt, but he could not make the play. So there's a 1 out and a man on for Evansville, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Kurt Wirtz Jr. Wirtz Jr., .315, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. Had a throwing error in yesterday's ball game that allowed the second run of the game to come in for the Washington Wild Things. Wild Things losing game 1 of this 3-game series by a score of 3-2 last night here at Consol Energy. Wilkins has his sign, the pitch, and that one's in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. From Wilkins early, we've seen some good at-bats, and we've also seen some bad at-bats. He's gotten out in front against guys like Josh Allen, John Schultz, Chris Breen, got the strikeouts and the ground out. Here in the first, falling behind the first couple of batters, did get a fly out to start things, but allowed a single and is now behind 2-0 to Kurt Wirtz Jr. For Wilkins, you like to work ahead coming off the disabled list, but we'll see what he can do here. Wilkins set, here's the 2-0. Checks his swing, and he went around, says the home plate umpire, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count for Luke Wilkins. We'll see if he has a pitch count here from manager Greg Langben, as Wilkins is making his first appearance here in 2016. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Check Sweeney at first, and throw over there, and Chris Sweeney is back. For Sweeney, only 1 stolen base in the year on 20 games played. So, has some speed as he's a center fielder, but not much of a stolen base guy. Wilkins set, here's the 2-1. And that one's high and outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count. Luke Wilkins trying to fight back in this at-bat against Kurt Wirtz Jr. Has 1 out here in the top of the second. There's already 1 man on with 1 away. Wilkins 3-1. And that one's in there for a strike. Count goes full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the catcher Julio Rodriguez on deck for the Evansville Otters. Wilkins, the right-hander, has his sign, the 3-2. There goes Sweeney for second, but doesn't matter as it's ball 4. So a 1-out walk gives the Evansville Otters runners at first and second here, and that'll bring up the catcher Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez got the night off last night as that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Wilkins having some trouble finding the zone here in inning number 2 as he tries to get back into this. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks second, the 1-0. And that one is just inside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. For Wilkins, has to try to start finding the strike zone here. If you fall behind early and often, it's going to make you pay eventually in this game. He hasn't given up a run yet, but he does have 2 on, the 2-0. And this one grounded softly to the left side. Rodriguez tags the man at third for 1, throw to first, and it's a double play. What a play by Ricky Rodriguez. 5-3 double play, and the inning is over. He tagged the guy out in between second and third, and then fired a strike over to first base, and the inning is over. After 1.5, the score. Evansville nothing, your Wild Things nothing. We're going to the bottom of the second. You're listening to MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the Fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here in the bottom of inning number 2. A great play by Ricky Rodriguez at third base to end the top of the second. As with men on first and second and one out, a ground ball was hit over there. Rodriguez had the wherewithal that once he fielded the ground ball, he was able to tag out Chris Sweeney going to third base, and then he fired a strike across the diamond to first to end the inning. It ended what would have been a threat for the Evansville Otters. Keeps the score at 0-0. In the first inning for your Washington Wild Things went 1-2-3 against Max Duvall on the mound for the Evansville Otters. Duvall got Jamal Austin to ground out to start things. Then Jimmy Yezzo would pop out to first base, and Brian Harwood ground out to third to end the inning. Max Duvall in his second inning of work here, and due up to face him here in the bottom of the second, Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, and Logan Ox, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Sundays are Kids Club days at Consol Energy Park. Children 12 and under can join the club for free. They get lots of perks, including a t-shirt, giveaway items, and free tickets to all Kids Club days. For more information, log on to WashingtonWildThings.com or call the box office at 855-456-WILD. The Kids Club is sponsored by Kona Ice, Med Express, PA Leadership Charter School, Pepsi, and Frito-Lay. Going to the bottom of the second, Luke Wilkins getting out of a jam in the top half of inning number 2, keeping the score tied at 0-0. Dave Popkins stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the second for your Washington Wild Things. Popkins currently hitting .311, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs. Leads this team in average as the switch hitter will bat left-handed today against the right-hander, Max Duvall. 0-0 score going into the bottom of the second from Consol Energy Park. Duvall set. Here's the pitch. And that one's way inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of inning number 2. As time is called at the plate. And Max Duvall having a conversation with the home plate umpire. Don't exactly know what that's about, but we're getting back into action as the conversation is now over. And Dave Popkins steps in. Duvall set, the 1-0 to Popkins. And that ball is high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here in the bottom of inning number 2. Nobody out. Duvall looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-0. And that one's high as well for a ball. Ball 3. So 3 straight balls to start the bottom of the second here for Max Duvall against Dave Popkins, and we'll see if Popkins can work his way on for the first base runner of the game for the Washington Wild Things. The pitch, and that one's a called strike. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count. Max Duvall on the hill for the Evansville Otters against Dave Popkins. Duvall set. Here's the 3-1. And that one's high, so a leadoff walk starts things here in the second for the Washington Wild Things. Dave Popkins reaches on the walk, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez comes into the game, 220 hitter, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs. Has been designated hitting for the last couple of days. And tonight playing at the third base position. Dave Popkins at first, he takes his lead. Max Duvall is set. Here's the pitch. And Rodriguez takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. So Duvall early on here in the second having trouble finding the strike zone, just as Luke Wilkins did in the top of this inning. We'll see if the Wild Things can make Duvall pay for it. Duvall has his sign, the 1-0. And that one is high as well for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Max Duvall, the right-handed pitcher, facing Ricky Rodriguez, the right-handed batter. Duvall set, checks Popkins at first, and the 2-0. And that one is on the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here in the bottom of inning number 2. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. However, the Wild Things got the leadoff man on as Dave Popkins walked to start things here in the bottom of the second. Duvall has his sign, the 2-1. And that one is a called strike at the knees. Count goes even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out from Consol Energy Park. Wild Things and Evansville Otters scoreless. Dave Popkins reached to start this inning. He walked. He's at first base. Duvall set. And the 2-2 to Ricky. And Rodriguez, a line drive to right center field. That'll get down. Popkins around second. He's heading to third. A sliding stop by Chris Sweeney. Langben's going to wave him to the plate. Here comes the throw. And it is not in time. Dave Popkins in there, and your Wild Things take a 1-0 lead to start things here in the bottom of inning number 2. It is 1-0 Washington on the RBI double by Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 6th RBI of the year. Your Wild Things take the 1-0 lead with no outs in the bottom of the second. A strong throw into the plate, and Dave Popkins beats it in there, sliding in safely just before the tag can be applied by the catcher Julio Rodriguez. That'll bring up Logan Ox. Ox making his Wild Things debut. Ox last year, 245, 8 home runs, 39 RBIs for the left-hander. Ricky Rodriguez at second. He reached on the RBI double. Duvall set. Checks Rodriguez there. Here's the pitch. Ox takes it low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 your Washington Wild Things lead the Evansville Otters as Ricky Rodriguez comes through with an RBI double. Duvall set. Looks into his catcher Rodriguez. Checks second. Here's the 1-0. And Ox will foul this one away towards the Wild Things dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Dave Popkins started things off with a walk. Then Ricky Rodriguez would hit an RBI double to give the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. Duvall looking into his catcher Julio Rodriguez has his sign. Checks Ricky Rodriguez at second. And the 1-1. Duvall kicks and deals. Ox takes high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here from Consol Energy Park. Your Wild Things lead 1-0 in the bottom of inning number 2, just underway, as we're in the bottom of the second. Cloud cover here at Consol Energy Park. We've had a little bit of drizzle pass by, but nothing major as of yet. Duvall set. Checks second. Here's the pitch to Ox. And check swing down the left field line, but it'll go foul as Rio Pedre grounds it in foul territory. Count goes to 2-2. And watching Logan Ox in batting practice, he was really giving the ball a ride as he hit multiple home runs. He was sitting out on the porch area here at Consol Energy Park watching him bat, and he was putting on an offensive display. So we'll see if he can translate that into game action. It's his first game with the Washington Wild Things. Signed today and added on the roster. Duvall set, checks second. The 2-2 to Ox. As Duvall checks Rodriguez, he kicks and deals. Ox takes this one low for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, Andrew Heck, the left fielder, is on deck for the Washington Wild Things. Logan Ox signed today, playing first base in his first game for the Washington Wild Things. Duvall has his sign. He's set, and the 3-2 pitch. And Ox will ground this one sharply down the right field line, keeping the count full with 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Washington Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Evansville Otters. As Logan Ox at the plate. Ricky Rodriguez at second. He reached on an RBI double that would score Dave Popkins all the way from first base. Duvall looking in. Has his sign. Checks Rodriguez at second. Kicks and deals. And the 3-2 is also fouled away by Ox, so the count remains full at 3-2. Logan Ox staying alive here in his first at bat for the Washington Wild Things. Trying to make a mark, could drive in his first run as he has a man in scoring position with nobody out. But just looking for a way to get on base here for Logan Ox. Duvall looking into his catcher Rodriguez. Has his sign, checks Ricky Rodriguez at second. And the 3-2 again. Ox pops this one up. Left side beyond third base. Christopher Rio Pedre going over. Called off by Ronaldo Gomez, and Gomez makes the catch in foul territory. That is out number 1 here in the second. 1 run in already with 1 out, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck on the year, 118. Heck on the year, 200, no home runs, and 4 RBIs. Playing left field tonight, starting in his 3rd straight game. He started the year getting spot starts every now and then, giving some guys nights off. But now here getting 3 consecutive starts, as he started Game 3 against the Normal Corn Belters and started the first 2 games here against the Evansville Otters. Ricky Rodriguez at second. He had an RBI double. Duvall set, checks Rodriguez over there. Here's the pitch. And Heck will take this one outside and low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder from Consol Energy Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network. I'm Zach Ziegler. Duvall looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Checks Rodriguez at second. Kicks in the 1-0. And Heck a ground ball to the left side, and that will go just foul beyond the third base bag. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. For Andrew Heck, the veteran on this team, as this is his 4th year involved in the Washington Wild Things organization. Hit a home run and drove in 16 RBIs a year ago while hitting .299. So he has the ability for very good offensive numbers. Duvall looking into the catcher Rodriguez. He has his sign. Looks over to second at Ricky Rodriguez and the 1-1. And Heck takes this one outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 2. A run in already on the Ricky Rodriguez RBI double. As Duvall looks in. He has his sign. He's set. He kicks in the 2-1. And this ball popped up, going back into the seats and foul. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even at 2 here at Andrew Heck. 1 out in the bottom of the second. Wild Things currently lead 1-0 over the Evansville Otters. Max Duvall making his 5th start of the year. 25 strikeouts to 3 walks. So not a guy who's going to walk a lot of batters. He pounds the strike zone. And so far the Wild Things have taken advantage here in inning number 2. Duvall set. Here steps off, doesn't like the sign. Rodriguez not returning to second base. Rodriguez not a big lead out there at second for the Wild Things, but making a point. As Duvall has his sign, he's set. Kicks in the 2-2 to Andrew Heck. And that one's outside. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 2. Duvall, the righty, versus Heck, the righty. A couple long at-bats for the Wild Things, making Max Duvall work here in the bottom of inning number 2. Duvall's 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Heck strikes out. And that is out number 2. 2 away for the Wild Things. That brings up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon, 306, no home runs, 1 RBI. Having some good offensive numbers here in his first 11 games for the Washington Wild Things. Looks to continue. Has been the primary catcher for the Wild Things ever since Kyle Pollock went on the disabled list. Pollock went on the disabled list in Game 3 of the Joliet series. Played 1 game as he started opening day against the Gateway Grizzlies, but went on the DL 5 days later with a bicep injury. Duvall has his sign. He's set. Checks second. Here's the pitch. And McKeon pops this one to center field. Sweeney a couple steps to his left, and he will make the catch, and that is out number 3. But the Wild Things do get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 2, the score, Washington Wild Things 1, Evansville 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6000 888-444-5403 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. Progress, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently going to the top of the third. Your Wild Things lead this one 1-0. Last inning for Luke Wilkins. He got Nick Baylog to fly out to start things. Then Chris Sweeney would hit a one-out single followed by a Kurt Wirtz Jr. walk. And then a very heads-up play by Ricky Rodriguez at third base, getting the ground ball and tagging Chris Sweeney on his way to third for out number 1. And then he threw across the diamond and got the final out of the inning. An impressive 5-3 double play ended the inning for the Evansville Otters in inning number 2. Due up here in the third inning for your Evansville Otters, Christopher Rio Pedre, Ronaldo Gomez, and Josh Allen. 9, 1, and 2 to face Luke Wilkins on the mound. And don't forget about the Antonio Brown Softball Challenge, which will be contested at Consol Energy Park 1 week from today, June the 11th. Tickets for the event are available at the box office or online. For more information, give them a call at 866-456-WILD. Antonio Brown and a couple other your Pittsburgh sports stars will be live here at Consol Energy Park playing in the softball game. And Christopher Rio Pedre is stepping in to start things here in the third. Rio Pedre, 343, no home runs, and 6 RBIs on the season. Wilkins looking in. Here's the sign, the pitch. Bunting, he pulls it back and takes the ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here in the top of inning number 3. Washington leads 1-0. Here's the pitch. This one lined right at Ricky Rodriguez. Makes a nice catch for out number 1. So Rodriguez ending the top of the second and starting the top of the third here with the quick out. And there's one away here in the top of inning number 3. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Ronaldo Gomez. Gomez, no official at bat yet. He has walked on the day and stole a base. In yesterday's game, Ronaldo Gomez 1 for 4 with a single in the 3-2 Evansville victory. Wilkins set. Here's the pitch. And that one is high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here in the top of the third. Wild Things lead 1-0. Wilkins set his 1-0. Bunting, and this one will go foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here in the top of the third. 1 away. Ronaldo Gomez, the batter. Luke Wilkins, as we said, making his 2016 Frontier League debut against Ronaldo Gomez, the shortstop for Evansville. Ricky Rodriguez in on the grass over at third base. Middle infield kind of in the shift as this pitch is high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. As you have Brian Hart playing out in shallow right field. Austin Wolbrock also out in shallow left. Logan Ox about traditional at first base, and Ricky Rodriguez playing in at third, the 2-1. And that one's high as well for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. So after getting the first man to start here in the top of the third, a 3-1 count here to Ronaldo Gomez. Wilkins set. Here's his 3-1. And that one's high, ball 4. The second walk of the day for Ronaldo Gomez gives the Evansville Otters a 1-out base runner here in the third. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Josh Allen. Allen 0 for 1 was the offensive star for the Evansville Otters in last night's game. Went 3 for 4, a single homer and double, and drove in 2 of the 3 Evansville runs in last night's 3-2 victory. Ronaldo Gomez at first with a walk. Now Josh Allen at the plate with 1 away in the top of the third. Wilkins set the pitch, and that one high and inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. That one almost got Josh Allen in the head. Had to lean out of the way. 1-0 the count. Game 2 of a 3-game series here at Consol Energy Park. Wilkins 1-0. That one high and inside as well. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And manager Greg Langbank quickly coming out of the dugout as he wants to go have a conversation here with Luke Wilkins. As he does, going to give you a little update on manager Greg Langbank. He was the manager of the Traverse City Beach Bums from 2008 to 2013. And with them, he had a record of 267 and 212. Made Traverse City a contender for the Eastern Division playoffs annually, and made the Frontier League Championship Series in 2010. He was named the Manager of the Year for Traverse City back in 2012, helping the Beach Bums finish with their best mark ever at 64 and 32 in his playing career. He pitched for 8 years as a minor league pitcher with the New York Mets, Boston Red Sox, and Milwaukee Brewers. as Langben has returned to the dugout, and we are back here in the top of the third. 2-0 the count on Josh Allen. Wilkins set. Here's the 2-0. There goes Gomez for second as this pitch is hit to right field. Dave Popkins will camp under it out there in right, and he will make the catch. That's out number 2. Ronaldo Gomez was going on the play, but has to go back to first base here. Now there are 2 away with a runner at first for Evansville, and that'll bring up the left fielder, John Schultz. Schultz 0 for 1. And yesterday's ball game was 1 for 4 with a triple and a run scored. 1-0 Wild Things lead here in the top of the third. Luke Wilkins on the mound making his 2016 Frontier League debut. Has 2 outs here and a 1-0 Wild Things lead. Ronaldo Gomez at first. He walked with 1 away. Here's Wilkins' pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on John Schultz. Schultz, the lefty, facing Luke Wilkins, the right-handed pitcher. Wilkins set, and the 1-0. There goes Gomez again. Pitch outside. The throw down by McKeon is not in time, and will go into center field again, but Jamal Austin again backing it up. So Gomez, a second stolen base of the night. As we said, he entered the game with 10, now has 12 stolen bases on this 2016 season. Those 12 stolen bases coming in just 20 games played. So Gomez really getting things hot on the base paths. Wilkins, a 2-0 count here to John Schultz. Looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's low as well for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes to start the at-bat against John Schultz. 2-1, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Wild Things lead 1-0. Wilkins has his sign. He looks into McKeon. Here's the pitch. And this ball grounded to third. Ricky Rodriguez has it. He'll throw across the diamond to first, and that is out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 2.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Evansville Otters 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going into the bottom of inning number 3, and your Wild Things lead this one 1-0. As last inning for your Wild Things, they got their first run of the game as Dave Popkins started things off with a walk. Then Ricky Rodriguez hit an RBI double that drove in Popkins all the way from first base to give the Wild Things this 1-0 lead. After that, Logan Ox would pop out. Then a strikeout by Andrew Heck and a flyout by Alex McKeon. Due up for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the third. Austin Wobrock, Jamal Austin, and Jimmy Yezzo, 9-1-2. Wobrock stepping in here to lead off the bottom of the third. And on the season for Austin Wobrock, hitting .212 with 1 home run and 6 RBIs. Wobrock facing Max Duvall here. 1-0 Wild Things lead in the bottom of the third. Duvall has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Wobrock takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. Duvall also working the corners, as was Luke Wilkins so far today. Duvall set the 1-0, or the 0-1. And that one is just outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here. Max Duvall on the hill. Here's the pitch. And that one's high and inside as well. Ball 2. Two and 1 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Max Duvall on the hill for the Evansville Otters. Here's the 2-1. And a swing and a miss by Austin Wobrock, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Wobrock, the shortstop, was hitting in the number 2 spot. Now, for the last 2 games, has been hitting in that number 9 spot in the order. Duvall's 2-2 pitch. And that one is low for a ball. Count goes full, 3-2. Jamal Austin, the on-deck hitter for the Wild Things. Austin, the leadoff man in the Wild Things order. Duvall set. Here's the 3-2 to Wobrock. And a swing and a miss, and Wobrock strikes out, and there's one away here in the bottom of inning number 3. 1-0 Wild Things lead. That'll bring up the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin on the day, 0 for 1. Grounded out to third his first time. In last night's game, he was 1 for 5 with a double and a stolen base, extending his on-base count to 13 in his 17 games played. Max Duvall looking in. He has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one is high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jamal Austin. The second time through the Wild Things order. They got a run in the second inning. We'll see if they can add on here the second time through. Duvall set the 1-0. And that one is a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here to Jamal Austin. Max Duvall, the right-hander, against Jamal Austin, the right-handed batter. Duvall's 1-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count, 1 out. Max Duvall on the mound, making his 5th start for the Evansville Otters. 25 strikeouts to 3 walks. Only has 1 strikeout today, as Austin Wobrock was his first victim. The 2-1. And that ball is hit foul back into the seats. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here, 1 out in the bottom of the third. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Evansville Otters. Max Duvall on the hill for Evansville. Duvall in the year. 2-0, 328 as Austin grounds this one softly to second base. Handled over there by Allen. Throw to first is in time to get Austin, and that is out number 2 here in the bottom of inning number 3. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo is 0 for 1 so far, and in last night's game was 0 for 5. He struck out, grounded out twice, and flew out twice. Yezzo, the normal first baseman for these Washington Wild Things, moved to the DH role after Logan Ox was signed today, making his debut for the Wild Things. Duvall has his sign. Here's the pitch to Yezzo. And Yezzo pops this one up behind the plate, but it'll go into the seats foul. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jimmy Yezzo. Here in the bottom of the third with 2 away. Yezzo looking to get something going for the Wild Things. Currently up 1-0 over the Evansville Otters. Duvall set the 0-1. And Yezzo a pop-up on the infield. Baylaw going to foul territory towards the coaching box. He'll call off the catcher Rodriguez and make the catch. That is out number 3. 1-2-3 the Wild Things go in the third. And after 3 innings of play, the score, Wild Things 1, Evansville Otters 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute? That keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here going to the top of inning number 4. Your Washington Wild Things currently lead the Evansville Otters 1-0. And on the mound so far in his debut, Luke Wilkins has been very good as he faced 4 batters in the first inning, walked Ronaldo Gomez, but struck out Josh Allen and John Schultz and got Chris Breen to ground out. Then in the second inning, faced 4 batters again, a fly out, a single, and a walk, and then got a double play to end that half of the inning. Then in the third, he also faced 4 batters, a line out to start things, a walk, and then a fly out and a ground out. So Wilkins so far so good. Due up here in the fourth for the Evansville Otters, Chris Breen, Nick Baylog, and Chris Sweeney, 4, 5, and 6. And if you haven't heard yet, country artist Chris Young will be in concert at Consol Energy Park on August the 25th. Tickets for that are available at Ticketmaster.com. You can also call the Wild Things box office, and they'll give you some information about seating and stuff like that. The box office has a lot of good information, a lot of good guys out there, guys and gals. Give them a call and see how they can help you with your Wild Things and Consol Energy Park needs. We're here in the top of the fourth. Wild Things lead 1-0 here on the MSA Sports Network. And stepping in to lead things off here in the fourth, the designated hitter, Chris Breen. Breen on the day, 0 for 1. He grounded out in last night's game, DH'd as well, and ended up going 0 for 3 in that game with a sacrifice fly and an RBI. Wilkins set, here's the pitch. And that one's low and outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wilkins set, here's the pitch. And that one is a called strike as well. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilkins 1-1 coming. And that one is swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the fourth. As the Wild Things currently lead 1-0 over the Evansville Otters. Wilkins 1-2. And swing and a miss. He gets Breen to strike out. And there's 1 away here in the top of inning number 4. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Nick Baylog. Baylog flew out to center field his last time, 0 for 1. And in last night's game, ended up going 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Reached base 3 times as he reached on a fielder's choice. And then the 2 walks as well. Baylog, as we said, was named the Week 3 Player of the Week in the Frontier League. Wilkins pitch, and that one is popped up to the left side. Rodriguez giving chase over towards the wall, and it will bounce into the seats as Rodriguez runs out of room. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Nick Baylog, the batter, playing first base here. As we said, came into the game leading this team offensively, hitting .405 in the average department with 2 home runs and 13 RBIs. So Baylog doing a good job of getting on base early on in the season. Wilkins 0-1. And Baylog takes this one for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss, and Baylog strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Wilkins to start inning number 4. And there are 2 away, trying to look for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game as the center fielder Chris Sweeney will step in. Sweeney 1 for 1. He singled in his first at-bat, and last night ended up going 1 for 3, a single, and 2 strikeouts as well as a walk. 2 outs here for Luke Wilkins, top of the fourth. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Evansville Otters. The pitch is swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. Wilkins 4 strikeout victims so far through 3 2/3 innings pitched, as he's done well in his Frontier League debut to this point. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Looks like Wilkins and McKeon got crossed up there as McKeon was set up on the inside part of the plate, had to reach out to catch that ball in the outside corner. Wilkins set, here's the 1-1. And that one's a called strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here. With 2 outs in the top of inning number 4, Wild Things lead 1-0. Wilkins 2 strikeouts to start the inning. Here's the 1-2. And this one chopped slowly to the left side. Rodriguez charging, bare hands it, and is not going to have a play as it's a fair ball. So a 2-out single for Chris Sweeney. The throw from Ricky Rodriguez kind of got away as he tried to lob it back to Luke Wilkins, but Logan Ox quickly there to scoop it up and keep Sweeney for moving up. That'll bring up the right fielder, Kurt Wirtz Jr. Jr. hitting in the 7th spot in the order. He has no at bat yet as he walked in his first time. Wirtz Jr. last night 0 for 3 with a walk. Wilkins set, checks Sweeney at first. There goes Sweeney for second. This pitch is fouled away off to the left, and it'll go back into the lawn area. No balls and a strike to count here on Wirtz Jr. Kurt Wirtz Jr., as we said, had the throwing error last night that allowed Austin Wobrock to score. It was the second run of the game for the Washington Wild Things. Top of the 4th, Wild Things lead 1-0. Luke Wilkins, the right-hander, versus Kurt Wirtz Jr., the left-handed batter. Chris Sweeney at first, he singled with 2 away. Wilkins set, and the 0-1 throw over to first, and Sweeney is back. Wilkins to this point only 2 hits in 3 2/3 innings of work. The Wild Things have only collected 1 hit. That was the Ricky Rodriguez RBI double. Wilkins 0-1, and this one is inside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Wild Things lead 1-0. As the Sydney, Australia native has his sign, he's set. Checks Sweeney at first, the 1-1. There goes Sweeney again. Pitch inside, throw down by McKeon is not in time, and the ham went off, but Sweeney able to dive back as he gets in there with his second stolen base of the 2016 season. Runner at second now with 2 away for the Evansville Otters. Sweeney, when he slid into second, initially overslid the bag, but Wobrock brought up his tag, had to try and reapply it. He could not do so in time, as Sweeney in there with a 2-out steal. Wilkins set. Here's the 2-1. And that one's high for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch by Wilkins on that stolen base was inside. McKeon had a nice job of catching it, getting out of his stance, and firing to second. Just couldn't get it there in time. Wilkins 3-1. And this one swung on and fouled away. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count, 2 outs. Julio Rodriguez on deck if Kurt Wirtz Jr. should reach. Luke Wilkins looking into his catcher, Alex McKeon, has his sign. He's set. Checks Sweeney at second to pitch. And this one grounded to second base. Har playing out there in shallow right has it. Throw on to first. And that is out number 3. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 3.5 the score, Wild Things 1, Otters 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 4th, and your Wild Things currently lead this one 1-0. Max Duvall on the hill, staying in the game for his 4th inning of work. Last inning, retired the Washington Wild Things. 1-2-3 got Austin Wobrock to strike out, got Jamal Austin to ground out, and Jimmy Yezzo would pop out to end the bottom of inning number 3. To up for the Wild Things here in the 4th, Brian Har, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez. As Max Duvall goes through his warm-up tosses, Clearview Federal Credit Union has branches in Canonsburg, McMurray, and all over southwestern Pennsylvania. Visit clearviewfcu.org to find one near you. And also, hey fans, you know you can receive $100 when you open a new checking account with Clearview Federal Credit Union. Visit them at clearviewfcu.org for more details. Getting ready for the bottom of the 4th, as we said. 3, 4, 5 due up. Brian Har, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez. Last time these guys were up, a run was scored as it was the 2nd inning. Dave Popkins led things off with a walk, and then Ricky Rodriguez, the only hit of the Wild Things so far, would produce an RBI double to bring in the only run of the game so far. Wild Things lead 1-0 over Max Duvall and the Evansville Otters. Getting ready to start here in the bottom of the 4th. Brian Har stepping in. Har on the day 0 for 1, grounded out to third base. In last night's contest against Evansville, Har went 2 for 5 with a double and a single. Max Duval set. Here's the pitch to Har. And that one's grounded on the first pitch to third base. Rio Pedre makes the play, throw to first, and quickly there is one away here in the bottom of inning number 4. One pitch, one out here for Max Duval, and that brings up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far, no official at bat. He walked and scored a run in inning number 2. In last night's ball game, he was 1 for 4, a single, 2 strikeouts, a ground out, and a walk for the Wild Things right fielder. Facing Max Duval, as we said, hitting left-handed versus the right-hander Max Duval. Popkins a switch hitter and has been getting on base consistently from the number 4 hole for the Wild Things. The pitch, and Popkins takes for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Wanted to count Popkins 3-0 the count before he walked in inning number 2. Would end up walking on a 3-1 pitch. Duval's 1-0. And that one outside as well, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Duval being very careful with Dave Popkins. As we've only seen, as we said, 3 walks coming into this one. He walked Popkins his first time up, and currently a 2-0 count here. Duval set the 2-0 pitch. And that one's a called strike in there at the knees. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count, 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 4. Wild Things lead 1-0 over the Evansville Otters. Lost yesterday's game by a score of 3-2. Duval's 2-1. Swing and a miss by Dave Popkins. Kind of went outside and low for that one as count goes even at 2-2. 8:11 p.m. Eastern Time. And with that, People's Natural Gas reminds you to dial 811 before you dig. Max Duval, a 2-2 count here on Dave Popkins. Duval in his 5th start for the Evansville Otters. Duval stands at 6'5", 240 from San Luis Obispo, California. And that pitch is inside, a diving grab behind the plate by Julio Rodriguez. Count goes full 3-2. Ricky Rodriguez on deck for your Washington Wild Things, with the full count here to Dave Popkins. Duval set. Here's the 3-2. And a swing and a miss. Popkins strikes out, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of inning number 4. That'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez today, 1 for 1, double, and drove in the only run so far. In last night's game, Rodriguez would go 2 for 4 with a double, a single, and a walk. So re-spaced 3 times against these Evansville Otters last night in the 3-2 loss. Rodriguez hitting. Here's Duval's 3-1, and that one's inside. And the count stays at 3-1. Now that's ball 4. Some confusion down on the field. A walk for Ricky Rodriguez with 2 outs gives the Wild Things a base runner, as Ricky Rodriguez forgot how many balls there were. So he'll take his trot over to first base. So a runner is on first now with 2 away, and that'll bring up Logan Ox. Ox, 0 for 1 so far, flew out to the shortstop, making his Wild Things debut tonight. Signed today to the Washington Wild Things. As we said, a year ago, played in the Baltimore Orioles system for the Delmarva Shorebirds. Here's the pitch. Ox swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. The runner at first, Ricky Rodriguez, he reached on a 2-out walk. 1-0 Wild Things lead over the Evansville Otters. Duvall looks in. Checks Rodriguez at first. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Ox grounds this one softly to the right side. Charging is Allen. He'll flip to first. And that will be out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 4, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 1, the Evansville Otters 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network going to the top of the 5th inning. Your Wild Things currently lead the Evansville Otters by a score of 1-0. And Luke Wilkins on the mound, very impressive here so far in his Frontier League debuts, only giving up 2 hits in 4 innings of work, striking out 4 batters. Last inning he had 2 strikeouts. Chris Breen and Nick Baylog would strike out to start things in the top of the 4th, and a single to Chris Sweeney with 2 outs and a stolen base gave the Otters a runner at second with 2 away before Kurt Wirtz Jr. would ground out to end the inning. Due up for the Evansville Otters here in the 5th, Julio Rodriguez, Christopher Rio Pedre, and Rolando Gomez. 8, 9, and 1 hitters set to face the Sydney, Australia native Luke Wilkins. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. Had a threat of rain today, currently cloudy. We've had a couple of drizzles pass through Consol Energy Park, but other than that, not much else happening here at the ballpark. And in steps Julio Rodriguez to lead things off in here in the 5th. Rodriguez 0 for 1. Got the night off last night as J.D. Dorgan was behind the plate. And for Dorgan went 0 for 4. So Rodriguez getting in there now. Here's the pitch. And it's inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 count here on Julio Rodriguez. Top of the 5th. Wild Things lead 1-0 at Consol Energy Park. Wilkins 1-0. And that one is in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. One thing I've really been impressed with Luke Wilkins is his ability to get out of jams. He had a big jam in the second, first, and second. He's had runners on base in every inning and has done a nice job of working it out and keeping the game scoreless to this point as that pitch is inside for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. Normally first outing you got the jitters, you allow guys on, you start to get, here we go again, grounded to Wobrock at short. Wobrock has it, throw to first, and that's out number 1. 6-3 on the putout starts things here in the top of the 5th, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Christopher Rio Pedre. Rio Pedre 0 for 1. In last night's game was also the third baseman, and he went 0 for 4 in that contest. So 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Wild Things lead 1-0. A very full crowd here at Consol Energy Park. Not quite a sellout, but I'd say about at least more than 3/4 of the way full. Seeing a very good crowd in tonight's game. Luke Wilkins set. Here's the pitch. And that one's low and outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Currently in the middle of our milk and cookie inning here at Consol Energy Park as fans line the concourse as they try to get their cookies and milk to enjoy here at the ballpark. Wilkins 1-0. And that one's high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count on Rio Pedre. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Wilkins started things with a ground out. Has only allowed 2 hits to this point. Wilkins 2-0. And that one is a called strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Wilkins just hitting that outside corner. And Wilkins, as we said, not so much of a strikeout pitcher, but has 4 strikeouts here in his 4 1/3. A ground ball up the middle, and that's a base hit. Wilkins tried to make a barehanded stop on it. He could not make the play, and that's a 1-out base runner for the Evansville Otters. That'll bring up Rolando Gomez. Gomez today, no official at-bat still. He walked his first 2 times up. Rolando Gomez, 5'8", 165 from Burlington, Kentucky. A returner to these Evansville Otters this season. Standing on first base, Christopher Rio Pedre. He singled with one away in the top of the fifth. Wilkins looking into McKeon. He has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. Throw to first. And Rio Pedre just back. For Rio Pedre over there at first base, he has no steals yet on the year. 11 games played for the Evansville third baseman. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, the pitch. This ball hit to center field. Jamal Austin a couple steps back. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. 2 away here in the top of the fifth, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Josh Allen. Allen 0 for 2. He struck out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. Allen, 5'10", 180 from Fort Meade, Florida. Another returner to this Evansville roster. A lot of returners, at least in terms of position players, for these Evansville Otters. As Luke Wilkins looking in for his sign. He has it. He's set. Checks Rio Pedre at third. And a throw over there, and Chris Rio Pedre gets back. Wilkins, a couple throws over there tonight. A decent move over to first base as he caught some guys off guard. Not yet to get a pick off. But good for him to see a couple of nice throws over there. Another one coming. And Rio Pedre just slides back in there this time. It's a very quick move from Luke Wilkins. The right-hander, he does a quick spin and fires a fastball over to first, essentially. Wilkins set the pitch. There goes Rio Pedre for second. McKeon's throw down is in time to nab Chris Rio Pedre, and that will end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. And after 4.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 1, Evansville Otters nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the Washington Wild Things coverage on MSA Sports Network. Currently in the bottom of the fifth. Your score, the Washington Wild Things 1 and the Evansville Otters nothing. As the Wild Things coming to bat here. Last inning for the Wild Things, Brian Hart grounded out, then Dave Popkins would strike out. Ricky Rodriguez would reach base in the inning as he walked with 2 away, but Logan Ox would ground out to end the inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in inning number 5, Andrew Heck, Alex McKeon, and Austin Wobrock, 7, 8, and 9 as Max Duval finishing his warm-up tosses. Hey fans, every Thursday night game during the 2016 season is Thirsty Thursday at Consol Energy Park, and it's all being brought to you by Frankie Aue's Bar and Grill located by the Meadows Casino on Route 19. Join them to enjoy food and drink specials after the game, and don't forget Thursday's feature, Buck Beverages, soda and beer, both for only $1 here at Consol Energy Park. 1-0 your Wild Things lead as we go to the bottom of inning number 5. Max Duval finishing his warm-up tosses. And Andrew Heck will be the first man to greet him. We'd like to remind you, you're listening to the MSA Sports Network. It's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. I'm Zach Ziegler, taking you through the entire 2016 season. And this broadcast brought to you by Consol Energy, Bethany College, and TruePar America. Andrew Heck stepping in to lead things off here for your Wild Things in the bottom of inning number 5. Wild Things up 1-0. Max Duval, the righty, versus Andrew Heck, the right-handed batter. Duval in there for his 5th inning of work, giving up 1 run so far on just the 1 hit. Duval's pitch. Heck bunting, and he'll take this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Evansville currently out hitting Washington 3-1. But the Wild Things leading in the only stat that counts, the scoreboard. Duval looking in, has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And this ball lined foul and into the seats. Watch out over there down the right field line. Count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes here on Andrew Heck. Heck playing left field. His 3rd straight game out there. As Andrew Heck, as we said, 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Last night's game was 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. The pitch. And that one is outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good layoff there by Andrew Heck, as he didn't go chasing on that outside corner. Max Duvall looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Andrew Heck strikes out, but the ball gets away from Rodriguez. He is fired to first, is not in time. And Andrew Heck strikes out, but reaches on the wild pitch. So the Wild Things get the leadoff man on here in the bottom of inning number 5, courtesy of the strikeout. The ball dropped by Julio Rodriguez behind the plate, and Andrew Heck able to reach first as the ball scrambled away from his catcher. That'll bring up the Wild Things catcher now, Alex McKeon. McKeon 0 for 1 so far. In the last night's game, a good offensive day, 3 for 4, 3 singles. And he drove in 1 of the 2 runs on the night for your Wild Things. Duvall looking in. He has assigned the pitch. And McKeon a drive to left field. It's hooking, and it will go foul. Alex McKeon gave that ball a drive to left, but it'll turn out to be a long strike number 1. McKeon, no home runs yet to this point. Almost got his first Wild Things bomb there. The runner at first, Andrew Heck, reached on a strikeout and a wild pitch. As Duvall set throw over there, and Andrew Heck dives back. The throw caught Heck off guard a little bit, but Heck able to dive back in there safely. 0-1, nobody out here in the bottom of inning number 5. Wild Things lead 1-0. Duvall set, the pitch to McKeon. And McKeon a tapper out in front of the mound. Duvall fields it, has no play at second, so he'll throw to first. Out number 1, 1-3 on the putout. Meanwhile, Andrew Heck moves up to second here, and the Wild Things have a runner in scoring position with 1 away for the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock on the day, 0 for 1. He struck out in last night's contest. Wobrock would be 0 for 4. He did reach base and score a run as he reached on a fielder's choice and would come around on the double by Jamal Austin, scoring on the throwing error by Kurt Wirtz Jr. Andrew Heck standing at second base. He reached on a strikeout. Duvall set. Here's the pitch. And this ball fouled away off to the left. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count to the Wild Things shortstop. Action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen. So Max Duvall on the hill. He has his sign. He's set. Checks Heck at second. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Wobrock. No balls and 2 strikes. Wobrock was caught chasing last inning. Is in the bullpen now for your Wild Things. Brandon Hinkle, formerly a starter for this team, now moved to the bullpen. Duvall looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Checks Heck at second. And the 0-2. Kicks and deals. And Wobrock will chop this one foul towards the Wild Things dugout on the right-hand side. Count 6 at no balls and 2 strikes. Last at-bat, Wobrock worked a full count 3-2 before chasing an ugly pitch outside the zone as he almost fell over swinging at it. 0-2, 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 5. Max Duvall looking in. Has his sign, checks Andrew Heck at second, and the 0-2. And this one grounded towards second base. Allen handles it over there. Throwing to first, and there are 2 away. 4-3 on the putout. Meanwhile, Andrew Heck moves up to third on the play, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin 0 for 2. Grounded out to third and grounded out to second so far. Austin 5'9", 170 from Atlanta, Georgia. The leadoff man for your Washington Wild Things, currently up with 2 outs and a runner at third base. Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the bottom of inning number 5. Duvall set, checks Heck over there at third. He's set, here's the pitch. And that one is in there for a strike, no balls and a strike. A late strike call by Jacob Asher behind the plate. Duvall looking into Rodriguez, has his sign, checks Heck at third, and the 0-1. And that one is in there as well. No balls and 2 strikes here to Jamal Austin. That one on the outside corner. 0-2 the count. Wild Things center fielder, the batter, 0 for 2 today. here from Consol Energy Park. Duvall set. And the 0-2. And that one's outside. A diving grab by Julio Rodriguez out there, not allowing Andrew Heck to move up from third base. 1-2 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 5. Wild Things lead 1-0. Duvall set, checks Heck at third. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one's a called strike 3. Jamal Austin strikes out on a pitch on the inside corner, and that is out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Evansville Otters 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here in the top of inning number 6. Your Wild Things currently lead this one 1-0 as they got their lone run in this game in inning number 2 when Dave Popkins would walk and Ricky Rodriguez an RBI double. Still the only hit to this point for your Washington Wild Things. A pitching change, as now pitching for the Washington Wild Things will be Brandon Hinkle. Hinkle taking over for Luke Wilkins here in inning number 6. And Hinkle on the year was a starter, was the number 5 starter in this rotation. Scheduled to go tonight, but Luke Wilkins coming off the DL. Hinkle 1-1, a 4.41 ERA in 2 games. This is his 3rd game. 2 starts in the year, he's thrown in 10 2/3 innings, giving up 6 runs, 5 earned on 13 hits. 7 strikeouts to 5 walks, a 4.41 ERA for Brandon Hinkle. Wild Things currently up 1-0 here in the top of inning number 6. Due up for Evansville in this half inning will be Josh Allen, John Schultz, and Chris Breen as Hinkle finishing his warm-up tosses. And every Friday night's a fireworks night at Consol Energy Park. Enjoy a spectacular fireworks display after all Friday night Wild Things home games this season. The next fireworks night coming up in 2 weeks as the Wild Things are on the road this Friday against the Lake Erie Crushers. It'll be when they come back on June 17th against the Windy City Thunderbolts. So come out and support your Washington Wild Things in that game. It'll be the second series of a 2-team homestand. Hinkle looking in. Josh Allen the batter. Allen 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And this ball hit the left field and deep. Andrew Heck going back to the wall, and it's off the wall. Fair ball. Heck will field it to throw in. And a leadoff base runner here for the Evansville Otters. It's a double for Josh Allen, and they're in scoring position here with nobody out in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up the left fielder, John Schultz. Schultz 0 for 2 today. Schultz 5'11", 190 from West Lawn, Pennsylvania. Wild Things lead 1-0, but currently Evansville has a runner at second with nobody out. Brandon Hinkle on the mound. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Josh Allen standing out there on second base. Brandon Hinkle has his sign. Checks Allen and the pitch. And that one's low and outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Nobody out here in the top of inning number 6. Wild Things lead 1-0, but the Evansville Otters do have a runner on second base with nobody out. Hinkle looking into his catcher, McKeon. And he'll step off as he didn't like the signs he was seeing. Luke Wilkins, though, after coming off the disabled list, a very good start as he went 5 innings the pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 5 innings pitched for Luke Wilkins. No runs given up. 4 strikeouts to 2 walks on the night. So a very good outing for Luke Wilkins, making his Frontier League debut. He is in line to win it right now if Hinkle can keep it scoreless. The pitch, and that's high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. For Hinkle, 5 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks on 3 hits, no runs, and none earned. Hinkle in the game now allowed a hit to the first batter he's seen. 2-1 the count here on John Schultz. Here's the pitch. And that one's in the dirt. Nice block by McKeon behind the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Wild Things lead it 1-0. As Brandon Hinkle, the left-handed batter, left-hand pitcher versus John Schultz, the left-handed batter. Hinkle looking into his catcher, McKeon. He has his sign. Checks Allen at second. Here's the 3-1. And he lobs that one outside, ball 4. So, well, time was called at the plate, I think. Is Josh Allen not going in there? That one was lobbed in by Brandon Hinkle. And Josh Allen did call time. Unfortunately for him, he would have had a walk. Here's Hinkle's pitch, and that one's outside for a ball anyways, ball 4. So the first 2 men reach here against Hinkle. And they are man on first and second, nobody out. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Chris Breen. Breen on the day, 0 for 2. 6-3 ground out and a strikeout. Breen, 6'3", 225 from DeBray, Florida. Hinkle looking in, men on first and second here for Evansville in the top of the 6th. Wild Things currently lead 1-0. Josh Allen at second, he doubled. And John Schultz at first, he walked. Runners taking off. The pitch is inside. The throw down, not in time for McKeon, a double steal. Josh Allen steals third. John Schultz steals second. And that smells trouble for the Washington Wild Things, as now there are runners at second and third with nobody out. And Hinkle's going to have to be a magician to keep this game with a 1-0 Wild Things lead. Josh Allen at third base, he doubled. And then John Schultz walked. He's now at second base after the double steal. Hinkle looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes here on Chris Breen, the designated hitter. And after the great start by Luke Wilkins, 2 men reach here against Brandon Hinkle, and there might be some trouble here with nobody out in the 6th. Hinkle's 2-0. That one's inside as well, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. 1-0 Wild Things lead, but Hinkle here in danger of loading the bases with nobody out in the top of the 6th. Hinkle looking in, has his sign, the 3-0. That one is in there for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hinkle needing a big out here. Wild Things conceding a run on the infield as everyone playing back, the 3-1. That one grounded foul off to the left. Count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Wild Things lead 1-0. However, there are runners at second and third here for the Evansville Otters with nobody out. Hinkle's last start was a very good one against the Schaumburg Boomers. He didn't give up a run in his 6 innings of work in that contest. Hinkle's 3-2. And this ball hit to left field and deep. Andrew Heck going back. He'll camp under it. This should be deep enough to score the run. Tagging. The throw will come in, and it's thrown to third base. So a run will score on the sacrifice fly, and the score now tied at 1 here in inning number 6. Sac fly RBI for Chris Breen. There's 1 out and a runner at second. Josh Allen scores, and the game now tied at 1. That'll bring up the first baseman, Nick Baylog. Baylog 0 for 2. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Tie game now between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. Game tied at 1. Hinkle set. Checks second. Here's the pitch. And that one is outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Hinkle now. The sac fly, not a terrible situation as it ties the game. Not exactly what you wanted. But with 1 out and a runner at second, that pitch is outside for a ball. 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. More action in the Wild Things bullpen. Sam Agnew-Wieland warming up out there. Hinkle has his sign. He's set. Here's the... No, he'll turn and look back to second. And getting back is John Schultz. Schultz reached on a walk and would steal second base as part of the double steal. The pitch. This one chopped slowly to the left side. Hinkle. No one knows who to cover first. Hinkle tried to make the play. Then Ox came in and neither make the play. So it's an infield single for Nick Baylog, and runners are at first and third with one away. So this inning has gone south so far for the Wild Things as Josh Allen started things with a double. John Schultz walked, both stole bases to second and third. And a sac fly by Chris Breen scored a run, and now a single by Nick Baylog has runners at first and third with one away. Hinkle could use a big double play. Chris Sweeney, the batter, 2 for 2. Throw to first, and Baylog back. Brandon Hinkle, 1-1, 4.41 ERA. His first appearance out of the bullpen in 2016. He's made 2 starts. The pitch, and that one's low in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that one's low in the dirt as well. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. Brandon Hinkle relieved Luke Wilkins here in the inning number 6. Wilkins hadn't given up a run through 5 innings of work. But Brandon Hinkle gives up a run in the 6th. Throw over, and it's almost a wild throw as Ox had to reach across his body to bring that one back to first base. 1-1 the score here between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters from Consol Energy Park. The 1 run for the Wild Things coming in the 2nd. Their only hit of the night against starter Max Duvall. Here's Hinkle's 2-0. That one's inside and low as well. 3 balls and no strikes, and Hinkle in danger of loading the bases here with 1 away. A run in already in the inning. Hinkle's set. Here's the 3-0. Throw to first, and Baylog back. Hinkle has a very good move over to first base. He stays home as long as he can before firing the ball over to first base, and almost got Baylog there. The 3-0. And that one's outside for ball 4. A walk will load the bases here for the Evansville Otters, and that brings manager Greg Langben out of the Wild Things dugout, and we'll see if we have a pitching change here. And we will. So while they take a pitching change, we're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here in the top of inning number 6. The Evansville Otters have tied the game against your Washington Wild Things. So another pitching change for the Wild Things is now coming in the game is Sam Agnew Whelan. Whelan making his Frontier League debut, his 2016 debut as well. Whelan last year pitched for the Joplin Blasters, a Double-A team for the New York Yankees. Went 3-4. With a 3.68 ERA in 24 games, only 1 start. He walked 16 and struck out 34 in 44 innings of work. So Sam Agnew Whelan making his 2016 debut for your Wild Things. And currently the bases are loaded for the Evansville Otters, so Whelan coming in quite a situation. The first batter he'll face here in the bottom of the 6th is Kurt Wirtz Jr. Wirtz Jr. on the day, 0 for 1. Ground out and a walk. So Sam Agnew Whelan making his debut. Chris Sweeney the batter, or Kurt Wirtz Jr. the batter. Here's Agnew's pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Wirtz Jr. Sam Agnew Whelan, the new pitcher in for the Wild Things. He looks into his catcher, McKeon. He has his sign. He's set. checks third. Here's the pitch. And that one's low as well, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Agnew Whelan on the suspended list to start the season as he was finishing his college classes. Now getting the chance to play here. Whelan's 2-0. And that one's high for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. And out of the bullpen, Agnew Whelan in danger of walking in a run. 1-1 the score currently, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Agnew Whelan set to 3-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here. Sam Agnew Whelan in his first appearance of 2016 for the Washington Wild Things. He's set, checks third. Here's the 3-1. And that pitch is outside for ball 4. Walks in a run. And it is now 2-1 Evansville. As scoring is John Schultz. Nick Baylog moves up to third. And Chris Sweeney moves up to second. Evansville now leads 2-1 here in the top of inning number 6. And that'll bring up the catcher, Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez 0 for 2. Still bases loaded, 1 out. Agnew Whelan's pitch. And this ball grounded to the right side. Ox has it. Throw to the plate. They get the out there. That's the only out they'll get. Fielder's choice 3-2 on the putout. As Nick Baylog is thrown out at home plate. Meanwhile, Chris Sweeney moves up to third. Kurt Wirtz Jr. to second. And now Julio Rodriguez at first with 2 away. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Christopher Rio Pedre. Rio Pedre, 1 for 2. Single and a line out. Sam Agnew Whelan walked in a run, but got the next guy to ground into a fielder's choice with 2 away. Agnew Whelan set. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. The 8th man to come to the plate here in the 6th. 2 runs in for Evansville. And they lead 2-1. Agnew Whelan looks in. He has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. Fired the fastball in there. And it's 0-2. 0-2, 2 outs. That run charged to Brandon Hinkle, so he's now giving up 2 runs on the day. Agnew Whelan's pitch. And that one's low in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Agnew Whelan trying to get him to chase there. As he couldn't get it. 1-2, 2 outs here in the top of inning number 6. 2 runs in already. Evansville leads 2-1. Agnew Whelan set the 1-2 pitch. This one hits sharply, and it's a base hit into left center field. Baylog will score, or Sweeney will score. Coming around is Wirtz Jr. He will score. The throw to third, and in there safely as Rodriguez. 2 more runs come in for the Evansville Otters, and they now lead 4-1. On the double by Christopher Rio Pedre, that brings up the 9th man to hit in this inning. As that brings in Rolando Gomez. 2 RBIs coming in for Rio Pedre. An RBI walk by Kurt Wirtz Jr. And there are now 4 runs in this half inning. Sam Agnew Whelan trying to get Rolando Gomez out here. Gomez 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a stolen base. Agnew Whelan set the pitch. And this ball hit to the left side, and that'll go foul. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Rain's starting to fall a little harder here at Consol Energy Park as fans scurrying for cover. 0-1 the count. 2 outs here in the top of inning number 6. 4 runs in already. The 0-1, and that one's inside as well for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 2 away here in the top of the 6th. Evansville has scored 4 on a sac fly, an RBI walk, and a 2 RBI double. Agnew Whelan has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1. And that ball fouled away off to the left. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4-1 Evansville leads here in the top of inning number 6. Luke Wilkins, a great start. 5 innings, no runs, just 3 hits. And now 4 runs in the 6th after Wilkins exits. Agnew Whelan set. Here's the 1-2. And that one is just high for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. All 4 runs so far charged to Brandon Hinkle. It actually closes the book on Hinkle's day, as Agnew Whelan now responsible for the 2 on base. Here's the pitch. That one's outside for a ball. 3-2. Josh Allen, the on-deck batter, he started this inning with a double, as Evansville is almost batted around. 2-1 the Otters lead over your Washington Wild Things. Agnew Whelan set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out, and the side is retired, but not before 4 runs come in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 5.5 the score, Evansville leads this one 4-1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Wild Things a rough top of the 6th, as they are currently down 4-1 here against the Evansville Otters. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network. Bottom of the 6th inning, last inning for the Wild Things. They did have a man reach as Andrew Heck struck out and reached 3rd in the inning. However, Alex McKeon grounded out. Austin Wobrock grounded out. That's what got Andrew Heck to 3rd base. And then Jamal Austin would strike out to end things in inning number 5. Max Duvall back out on the mound for the 6th inning for the Evansville Otters. Due up for the Wild Things in this half, Jimmy Yezzo, Brian Haar, Dave Popkins. As the Wild Things now are down by 3, they have to try to claw their way back into this contest. A steady rain falling here at Consol Energy Park. However, we're still playing baseball here. Wild Things down 4-1 against Max Duvall and the Evansville Otters. Duvall has only given up 1 hit through his 5 innings of work. All Sunday home games are Donation Sundays, brought to you by Goodwill. Fans are encouraged to bring gently used items to the park on Sundays and enter or win prizes courtesy of Goodwill. So Max Duvall finishing his warm-up tosses. Jimmy Yezzo, getting ready to step in. Yezzo on the day 0 for 2. Yezzo 6'0", 205 from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Normally the first baseman for these Washington Wild Things, but with the signing of Logan Ox, Yezzo is regulated to designated hitter duties. Bottom of the 6th, 4-1, the Evansville Otters lead your Washington Wild Things after the Wild Things dropped game 1 of this series 3-2 last night. Here's the pitch. And that one is in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here. The Wild Things DH, Jimmy Yezzo. Duvall set. Here's the 0-1. And that ball ground to the right side and will go foul, so the count goes to 0-2. 0-2 here on Jimmy Yezzo. Nobody out here in the bottom of inning number 6. Max Duvall, as we said, only 1 hit through 5 innings of work. He has been great on the mound. Entered this game with a 1-0 record in 4 starts. Duvall set. Here's the 0-2. And Yezzo, a fly ball to left field and deep. Going back to the wall, and it is caught on the warning track. A long fly out for Jimmy Yezzo, and there is 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 6. John Schultz going back to the track to make that catch right at the base of the wall. That'll bring up the second baseman, Brian Haar. Haar on the day 0 for 2. 2 ground outs, grounded out to third twice. As he will step in. And Max Duvall 2-0 coming into this game, 3.28 ERA. Here's the pitch. Hard checks his swing, but it's high for a ball. One ball and, or no, it's called strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Brian Harr, the batter. One out from Consol Energy Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. Harr will pop this one up back towards the seats, and it'll go foul into the seats. Count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes the count. One out here in the bottom of the 6th. And Brian Harr, the batter. Wild Things down 4-1 after a 4-run 6th inning for the for the Evansville Otters. Really got him ahead. Luke Wilkins, 5 scoreless innings to start the day. Then Brandon Hinkle came in and loaded the bases while allowing a run. And then Sam Agnew-Wieland came in and could not keep the bases loaded as he gave up 3 more. And swung on a miss by Brian Harr. That's out number 2. As he strikes out. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins on the day is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Popkins, top average guy for these Wild Things, hitting .316 coming into today's game. A .311 coming into this game, excuse me, the pitch. And that's outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Dave Popkins, the right fielder. Duvall set, here's the 1-0. And a swing and a miss by Popkins, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Wild Things down 4-1 to the Evansville Otters. Trying to claw back into this game. Here's the 1-1. That one's grounded off to the right side and foul. Count goes to 1-2. Duvall's retired 5 straight Wild Things batters. Dating back, or actually, 5 straight Wild Things batters. So we got the last 3 outs, 1 in a row in the 6th, and then the first 2 out here in the 7th. Duvall set, here's the 1-2. And that one's low for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Wild Things down 4-1. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Dave Popkins at the plate for your Wild Things. And Duvall looking into his catcher Rodriguez. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-2. And this ball hit the left field. Going out is Rio Pedre towards foul territory. Coming in is Schultz. Schultz slides. And it'll go foul. And oh no, Schultz really banged up against that wall. As the trainer's going out to check on him here, he slid hard with his glove out into that left field wall. Trainer's coming to take a look at him. And while they do, going to take a look at the standings here in the Frontier League. On the east side, where your Washington Wild Things sit, currently the Windy City Thunderbolts in first place, their record of 15-4. The Lake Erie Crushers are in second, 12-5. Then your Washington Wild Things sit at 9-9. The Joliet Slammers in fourth, they're 9-11. Traverse City Beach Bums in 5th at 7-12. And the Schaumburg Boomers round out the East Division with a record of 6-12. On the West Division, where these Evansville Otters sit, the Otters currently at 13-7. The River City Rascals sit at 11-7. The Southern Illinois Miners in 3rd, they're at 9-9. Gateway Grizzlies sit in 4th at 9-11. The Florence Freedom are in 5th, 6-12. And the Normal Corn Belters round out that West Division standings with a record of 6-13. John Schultz being looked at by trainers. It looks like he's going to stay in the game as he's not heading back to the dugout. He's heading out to his left field position. He slid hard into that left field wall, and with his glove hand out, he jammed it against that bullpen area. So a painful slide for John Schultz, but everything's okay as he walks out to left field. And a 2-2 count, 2 outs. We're ready to get back to baseball here in the bottom of the 6th. Wild Things down 4-1. Dave Popkins, the batter. Cleanup hitter for your Wild Things. 0 for 1. Struck out and walked so far. As he's up here against Duvall. Duvall set. Here's the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Popkins strikes out. And the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 6th. And after 6 innings of play, the score, Evansville 4, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 7. Sam Agnew-Whelan staying out there for another inning of work. Brandon Hinkle, his final line, 1/3 innings pitched, 2 runs, both earned on 2 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned on 2 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. So a rough outing for Brandon Hinkle out of the bullpen. And now the Wild Things find themselves down 4-1. Sam Agnew-Whelan activated off the suspended list a night ago as he was on there to start the year. Suspended list, basically a spot for the Wild Things to hold some extra players just in case they are needed. Sam Agnew-Whelan was in college, finishing up classes, so he reported a little later than some of the other players, and for that reason, he was on the suspended list to start things this season. But now in his first game of the 2016 Frontier League season, was in a bit of a jam last inning as he came in with the bases loaded, and he walked the first man he faced to walk in a run, then a fielder's choice. He got 1 out at the plate, but then an RBI double by Christopher Rio Pedre scored 2 and made the score 4-1 Evansville. Here in the 7th, due up for the Evansville Otters will be Josh Allen, John Schultz, and Chris Breen, 2, 3, and 4 to face Sam Agnew-Whelan. The Evansville Otters almost batting around in the last inning as they sent 9 men to the plate. And Josh Allen now batting. Allen 1 for 3 with a double and a stolen base today. He also scored a run. Agnew-Whelan's pitch. And this ball hit the right field towards the foul area, and it'll go to the seats and will land in foul territory. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Josh Allen. Sam Agnew-Whelan with his first clean slate on the mound. We'll see how he works with it. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And that one is high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Agnew-Whelan, his first action here in 2016. He's set. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss there by Josh Allen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, nobody out here from Consol Energy Park. Sam Agnew-Whelan on the mound, took over last inning with 1 away. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And off the outside corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thought he had him there, but that pitch just a tad outside. Agnew-Whelan set the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he strikes him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Agnew-Whelan as he struck out Rolando Gomez to end the 6th inning and strikes out Josh Allen here to start the 7th. That'll bring up the left fielder, John Schultz. Schultz just had that scary play in left field. He went a feet-first slide near the Evansville bullpen. He jammed his glove in the left field wall. He had to be looked at by trainers, but it was determined that he was okay, and he stays in the game as he's batting here. Schultz on the day, 0 for 2, a walk and a steal. The pitch, and it's high, ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Sam Agnew-Whelan on the mound. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And that one's way outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Agnew-Whelan faces off against John Schultz. Whelan standing at 6'1", 210 from Marietta, Georgia. That ball's high, ball 3. 3-0 the count here is after striking out Josh Allen. Sam Agnew-Whelan 3 straight balls here to John Schultz. Here's the pitch, and that one's outside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk here. Gives the Evansville Otters a 1-out base runner, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Chris Breen. Breen on the day, 0 for 2, does have a sac fly and an RBI. Here is Sam Agnew-Wieland is on the mound. Agnew-Wieland set, and the pitch. And that one's outside and in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, runner at first for Evansville. That's John Schultz. Schultz reached on a walk. Agnew-Wieland checks him at first. He has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0. And that one lined towards center field, a base hit. So back-to-back base runners here with an out as John Schultz walked, and now Chris Breen singles, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Nick Baylog. Baylog on the day, 1 for 3, single, strikeout, fly out. As before the 6th inning, this game was going very well for Washington. Luke Wilkins, 5 scoreless innings to start his 2016 season. And right now, the Wild Things are down 4-1. They gave up 4 runs in that 6th inning of work. Sam Agnew-Wieland looking in, has his sign, checks second, the pitch. Swung on and fouled away by Nick Baylog at the plate. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. The righty Sam Agnew-Wieland on the mound. Runners at first and second with 1 away. John Schultz reached at second with a walk. Chris Breen at first after he singled. Wieland set. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed there by Baylog. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 strikeouts already for Sam Agnew-Wieland on the day, looking for a third. Double play would be great, but he'll take a strikeout. Agnew-Wieland set. Here's the 0-2. And this one's fouled away. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. It has some rainfall here at Consol Energy Park, but not too much to worry about in terms of rain delays. 4-1 Evansville leads here in the top of the 7th. 1 away. They have 2 on and 1 out. Agnew-Wieland set. Here's the 0-2. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Evansville leads 4-1 from Consol Energy Park. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Agnew-Wieland has his sign. He's set. Looks in. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Couldn't get Baylog to chase. 2-2, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow night, 7:05, here on the MSA Sports Network. Wieland set, the 2-2. And that one's high, ball 3. Count goes full here. Chris Sweeney, the on-deck batter for the Evansville Otters. No action down the Wild Things bullpen. No action in Evansville's bullpen either. Sam Agnew-Wieland set. Here's the 3-2. And that's inside for a ball. Bases full of Evansville Otters here with 1 away. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Sweeney. Wild Things, ever since that 5th inning, have just been in trouble all night. Walks have been a problem in the last 2 innings alone. There have been 4 walks. So bases loaded, 1 out. That brings up Chris Sweeney. Sweeney is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a walk. The pitch. And that ball hit the left field. Andrew Heck moving over. He's going to camp under it. He's going to make the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. And it will be cut off by Ricky Rodriguez, not in time. Sac fly RBI for Chris Sweeney, and it's now 5-1 Evansville here in the top of inning number 7 as John Schultz scores. The other 2 runners stay put. Evansville leads 5-1 here in the top of the 7th, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Kurt Wirtz Jr. Wirtz Jr., 0 for 1, grounded out and also has walked twice. Lots of walks for the Wild Things on the night as Wilkins walked 3, and now 4 walks, 7 walks total for the Wild Things here today. Agnew-Wieland's pitch, and that's outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Agnew-Wieland, as we said, making his 2016 debut off the suspended list yesterday. Agnew-Wieland's 1-0. Swung on and missed, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 2 outs here in the top of inning number 7. A run in already on the sac fly by Chris Sweeney. Evansville leads 5-1. Agnew-Wieland set. And the 1-1. And that one is low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. The 5th man to come to the plate here in the 7th inning for Evansville. Agnew Whelan set. Here's the 2-1. And that one's a called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even. Agnew Whelan trying to get out of this one. Action on the Wild Things bullpen. Brian O'Keefe warming up out there. Agnew Whelan set. The 2-2. There goes the runner for third. Swing and a miss. And Whelan gets the strikeout and the inning is over. However, Evansville gets another run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 6.5 to score, Evansville 5, your Washington Wild Things 1. We're going to keep it right here for the 7th inning stretch here at Consol Energy Park. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. Keep it tuned. Your Wild Things down 5-1.
To perform God Bless America, let's welcome back, and they're in the Wild Things logo behind home plate, our friends from Legacy Baptist Church.
To the prairie, to the ocean, wide with love. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairie, to the oceans, wide with love.
Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POWX is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POWX can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POWX.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here in the bottom of inning number 7. Your Wild Things currently down 5-1 to the Evansville Otters. Max Duvall back out there is still only allowed that 1 hit through 6 innings of work, as it was a Ricky Rodriguez RBI double that scored the first run of the game. Leading off the bottom of the 7th will be Ricky Rodriguez, 1 for 1, a double and a walk on the day for him, as Max Duvall and the Wild Things down 4 here in the bottom of the 7th. Rodriguez will look to fight back and get the Wild Things into this one. Wild Things currently down 5-1, as we said. Ricky Rodriguez stepping in there. Rodriguez the only hit for the Wild Things on the day with that RBI double. Here's Duvall's pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Wild Things down 5-1. Duval set. Here's the 1-0. And that one is a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, nobody out here from Consol Energy Park. Bottom of the 7th, you're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Duval's 1-1. That one's chopped foul off to the right. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 6 straight Wild Things retired. Here coming into the bottom of the 7th is after allowing the man to reach Andrew Heck on the strikeout, he reached base. He retired all 3 batters after him in the 5th and 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate right now. Duval set. Here's the 1-2. And that one is off the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 with nobody out. Here in the bottom of inning number 7. Duval's 2-2 pitch. And that one is low for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count goes full. Logan Ox, the on-deck batter. Wild Things currently down 5-1. Bottom of the 7th, looking to fight back into this one. Duval set. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Rodriguez strikes out. There's 1 away here in the bottom of inning number 7, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Logan Ox. Ox today 0 for 2 in his Wild Things debut. Popped out to short over in foul territory on the left side and grounded out to second base. Ox, his first start for the Wild Things. Playing first base tonight, signed this afternoon. Duval set. Here's the pitch to Ox. And a swing and a miss, no balls and a strike. 6 strikeouts for the Wild Things so far on the day. There's an 0-1 count here to Logan Ox. Duval set. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here. Logan Ox, the batter. Left-handed hitter playing first base tonight. Here from Consol Energy Park. Said Brian O'Keefe continues to warm in the Wild Things bullpen. He will most likely pitch inning number 8. Here's Duval's 1-1. And that one grounded to the right side. Handled by Allen over there. Throw to first. And there are quickly 2 away here in the 7th. That's currently 8 straight Wild Things set down here by Max Duval. That'll bring up the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck 0 for 2. He struck out twice today, but he has reached base as he reached on a wild pitch in the 5th inning. Made it to third base, but would not come around to score. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Evansville currently leads 5-1 here over the Washington Wild Things. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wild Things dropping Game 1 3-2. Here's the pitch. And that one grounded softly to the left side, but it'll go foul. Count goes to 0-1 on Andrew Heck. No balls and a strike. Heck the batter. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th from Consol Energy Park. Part of a 6-game homestand here. 2 off days on Monday and Tuesday following tomorrow afternoon's 4:05 game. And they'll play the Windy City Thunderbolts in a doubleheader on Wednesday and a single game on Thursday before traveling to Lake Erie to take on the Lake Erie Crushers on Friday. Duval set. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Andrew Heck. Heck trying to start something with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Wild Things down 4. Duval's 1-1 pitch. And that one's low as well. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bottom of the 7th, 2 away. Andrew Heck at the plate for your Washington Wild Things. Duval looking in, has his sign, and the 2-1. And that ball is fouled away back into the seats. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This game started off well for the Washington Wild Things. Luke Wilkins, 5 scoreless innings in his 2016 Frontier League debut. However, Brandon Hinkle came in in the 6th inning, only got 1 out, allowed 4 runs. Sam Agnew-Whelan would relieve him, and so far has allowed 1 run himself. This pitch is is a called strike 3, and Andrew Heck strikes out, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Washington Wild Things here in the 7th. And after 7 innings of play, the score, Evansville 5, Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the top of the 8th, and a pitching change for your Washington Wild Things as on comes Brian O'Keefe in this one. He's appearing in his 5th game. Has thrown 6 1/3 innings, giving up 2 runs, 2 earned on 3 hits, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks. No record, a .295 ERA. For Brian O'Keefe. For Sam Agnew-Whelan, the final line on him went 1 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run. It was earned on 2 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The Evansville Otters currently lead your Wild Things 5-1 in the top of inning number 8. Brian O'Keefe finishing his warm-up tosses, and July 9th is going to be a special one at Consol Energy Park. It's Cicada Night. Word is the team's changing its name due to the influx of cicadas here in Washington County. There will be a special jersey auction and more. Plus, there will be an ugly Christmas blanket giveaway to the first 1,000 fans. Get your tickets today for Cicada Night here at Consol Energy Park. So Brian O'Keefe on here in the 8th for your Washington Wild Things. He will face Julio Rodriguez, Christopher Rio Pedre, and Rolando Gomez. Here's his pitch. And it's inside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Julio Rodriguez, the 1-0. And this one hit to the right side, that'll go foul. Count goes to 1-1. Rodriguez on the day, 0 for 3, has reached base on a fielder's choice. Back in inning number 6. 1-1, nobody out here in the top of the 8th. Evansville leads 5-1, the pitch. And this ball hit to left field. Heck going over a couple steps, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. Quickly 1 away here in the 8th inning, and that'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Christopher Rio Pedre. Rio Pedre on the day, 2 for 3, single, double, and 2 RBIs. There's 1 out here in the top of the 8th. The paid attendance today, 2,601. Here at Consol Energy Park, a good crowd. This pitch swung on a miss, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Christopher Rio Pedre. O'Keefe 0-1. And that one's high for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Wild Things currently down 5-1 from Consol Energy Park. Brian O'Keefe's 1-1. And that ball's hit foul off to the left or right and into the stands. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Brian O'Keefe looking for a clean 8th inning as the last couple innings the Evansville Otters have scored. They scored 4 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. Here's the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here in the top of inning number 8. Wild Things down 5-1. O'Keefe's 2-2. And that's way inside, ball 3. Count goes full at 3-2. Rolando Gomez on deck. Here for the Evansville Otters. O'Keefe's 3-2 pitch. And that ball hit deep to left. Heck is just going to turn and watch this one sail out of here. Christopher Rio Pedre, a solo home run, and Evansville now leads 6-1 over your Washington Wild Things here at Consol Energy Park. Just when you thought it was going to be a clean inning for Brian O'Keefe, he gives up the solo shot for Rio Pedre. It's his first home run here in 2016. Evansville now leads 6-1, and that'll bring up the shortstop Rolando Gomez. Gomez 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout, as well as 2 walks. Brian O'Keefe on the hill. Wild Things coming into this one on a 3-game losing streak. O'Keefe's pitch, and that one is outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. O'Keefe's pitch, and that one's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Brian O'Keefe in for his 5th game. Gives up a run here, the 1-1. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Wild Things bullpen just not getting it done today, has given up all 6 runs out of the bullpen, and the Evansville Otters have scored in back-to-back-to-back innings. This pitch is fouled away. Count goes to 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Brian O'Keefe on the mound. Here at Consol Energy Park, you're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. Brian O'Keefe set the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and O'Keefe gets the strikeout, and there are now 2 away here in inning number 8 following the solo home run by Christopher Rio Pedre. Josh Allen will now step in with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Allen today 1 for 4. A double, a stolen base, 2 strikeouts, and a flyout. So Brian O'Keefe looking to get the Wild Things back to the bat racks, now down 5. The pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Brian O'Keefe on the mound for the Wild Things. Josh Allen the batter, the 0-1. That one swung on and missed as well. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, Wild Things down 6-1. Rio Pedre has batted in the last 3 innings, the 0-2. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out, and the side is retired. Another run comes in for the Evansville Otters on a hit, no errors, and nobody left. And after 7.5 the score, Evansville 6, your Washington Wild Things 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network, going to the bottom of the 8th, and the Evansville Otters add a run in the top of this inning as Christopher Rio Pedre hit his first home run of the 2016 season, and Evansville now leads your Washington Wild Things by a score of 6-1 here at Consol Energy Park. Meanwhile, the Wild Things have seen 9 straight men retired by Max Duval. Duval still only allowing that 1 hit in the 2nd inning, an RBI double by Ricky Rodriguez, and that is all the Wild Things can muster offensively so far in this one. Due up for the Wild Things here in the 8th, Alex McKeon, Austin Wobrock, and Jamal Austin, 8, 9, and 1. Due up for the Wild Things, and on Thursdays, fans can enjoy several special offers. The Wild Things are offering a 2-for-1 ticket deal. Stop by the box office to get yours today. And in addition, there's a 4 for $44 offer. It includes 4 reserve seat tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 small soft drinks. Normally a $76 package, just $44. Every Thursday, the Wild Things are home this summer. The next Thursday home game this Thursday at 7:05, the Wild Things taking on the Windy City Thunderbolts in Game 3 of that 3-game series. The first 2 games being played in a doubleheader on Wednesday after 2 off days on Monday and Tuesday. We're ready to start things here in the bottom of inning number 8 as in steps Alex McKeon to lead things off here in the 8th. McKeon on the day 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out. McKeon played in the Boston Red Sox organization a year ago, 6'2", 215 from Tarrytown, New York. Duvall set, here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, 6-1 Evansville leads here in the bottom of inning number 8. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Duvall set, here's the 1-0. And this one grounded back towards the mound. Duvall reaching, can't get it. Gomez makes the play, throw to first, it's not in time. Infield single here for Alex McKeon, and that starts things here in the 8th. The Wild Things get a leadoff base runner. That'll bring up Austin Wobrock, only the second hit of the game for these Washington Wild Things as McKeon reaches, and that'll bring up Wobrock. Wobrock so far 0 for 2. Wobrock 6'0", 185 from Costa Mesa, California. A returner to this Washington Wild Things team. Hitting in the number 9 spot, a runner on. Alex McKeon reaches on a single that ends a streak of 9 straight Wild Things retired. Duvall's pitch, and time is called behind the plate. And they're going to get Duvall for a balk as he stopped there. So Alex McKeon moves to scoring position now with nobody out after the balk. So Austin Wobrock now with a man at second and nobody out. The Wild Things trying to chip back at this lead. Duvall looking into his catcher, Rodriguez. He has his sign. He's set. Checks McKeon at second. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Austin Wobrock. Wild Things down 6-1, bottom of the 8th. Nobody out. Alex McKeon reached on a single and moved to second after the balk by Max Duvall. Duvall's 1-0. And that one's low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Some stirring around now in the Evansville bullpen. No one officially up and throwing yet. Duvall looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks second, the 2-0. And that ball lined to right field. That'll get down for a base hit. McKeon will be held at third, so runners will be at the corners here with nobody out. Back-to-back singles by Austin Wobrock and Alex McKeon have the Wild Things in business. And that'll rate the center fielder, Jamal Austin. Austin on the day, 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Back-to-back hits for the Wild Things after only getting 1 hit all evening against Max Duvall. Trying to start something here. Andrew Wick warming up in the Wild Things bullpen. Down on Evansville's side, warming up is Ken Frosch. Duvall looking in, he has his sign. Checks McKeon at third. Here's the pitch. Austin takes high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th. Runners at first and third for the Wild Things. Alex McKeon stands at third. Austin Wobrock at first. Wild Things down 6-1. They're looking to come back. Time is called at the plate as a ball has fallen into the field of play on the right field side, recovered by the Wild Things bullpen. And we are back ready for action. Duvall set. And the 1-0 to Austin. This one popped up. Foul territory, and it'll carry into the seats. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Jamal Austin at the plate. Austin 3 RBIs on the year. He's looking to increase that number here right now. 6-1 Evansville leads. Wild Things down by 5. Not an impossible comeback. Weirder things have happened. Duvall checks Wobrock at first, now has his sign, he's set. Checks McKeon at third, the 1-1. And that one's low for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count, Max Duvall has not given up a run yet on just 3 hits. Looking to get out of this inning, Wild Things looking to get back at him. They did score a run in the second on the RBI double by Ricky Rodriguez. Duvall set, the 2-1. That one's inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike here. And things getting interesting for the Wild Things with no outs in the bottom of the 8th. Is Duvall in danger of walking the bases loaded? Duval looking in, checks Wobrock, has his sign, now checks McKeon. He's set. And the 3-1. This ball hit the right field and deep. Back, going Wirtz Jr., he'll make the catch. Tagging from third and coming to the plate is McKeon. He will score without a throw. Sack fly RBI, it's now 6-2 Evansville. As McKeon scores, there's a runner at first with one away. That ball hit deep enough into right field by Jamal Austin where Alex McKeon could tag and score. Now 6-2, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo on the day, 0 for 3. 2 pop outs and a fly out. He hit the ball very deep to left field his last time out. Duval looking into his catcher, Rodriguez. Has his sign, he's set. Here's the pitch. And this one lined to right center field. And that will not be caught. A diving attempt by the center fielder. He won't catch it. Rounding third, heading home is Wobrock. He will score. RBI double by Jimmy Yezzo. It's now 6-3. Wobrock scores all the way from first. A double by Jimmy Yezzo on a diving attempt by Chris Sweeney. And your Wild Things fighting back. Now only down by 3. It's 6-3. And that'll bring up Brian Haar. Haar looking to keep this comeback going. 2 runs in for the Wild Things in the inning. Singles by Alex McKeon and Austin Wobrock started things. A sac fly drove in McKeon. An RBI double by Jimmy Yezzo, and it's now 6-3. Don't look, but your Wild Things are coming back. Haar the batter. Duval has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. Haar takes for a strike. No balls and a strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 runs in for the Wild Things already. It's 6-3. As they look to come back in this one. Duval looking into Rodriguez. Has his sign set. Checks Yezzo at second. Here's the pitch. Haar takes this one inside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes here on the Wild Things second baseman, Brian Haar. Haar, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs on the year. Trying to get the Wild Things back in this one. Duval set, checks second. Here's the pitch. This one fouled away, count goes to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Brian Haar been in that 3rd spot in the Wild Things order all year. Looking to get the Wild Things back into this one. 6-3 the score. Here in the bottom of inning number 8, Wild Things were held to just 1 hit and 1 run before this inning. 2 in already with 1 out. Here's the pitch. And it hits Brian Haar. So Haar will reach it first, and that brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Dave Popkins. Popkins on the day, 0 for 2 strikeouts. He's also walked. And the Evansville manager, Andy McCauley, coming out of the Evansville dugout. We'll see if we have a pitching change. Or if he's just coming to talk to his pitcher, Max Duval, and we will have a pitching change. So while they change pitchers, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose Pro Grass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Wild Things fighting back in this one. 6-3 the score. They have runners at first and third with only one out. Pitching change on the mound now is Ken Frosch for the Evansville Otters. Almost final line on Max Duvall. 7 in the third. Gave up so far 3 runs, 3 earned. Still responsible for the 2 men on base. 2 walks and 9 strikeouts. For Frosch out of the bullpen. He's 0-1, 128 ERA, appearing in his 6 games, 7 innings of work, 1 run. It was earned on 6 hits, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. The first man he'll face is Dave Popkins. Popkins represents the tying run. Frosch set. Popkins having to turn around and bat right-handed as he's a switch hitter. He's been batting left-handed all day. As Popkins on the day is 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Jimmy Yezzo at second, an RBI double. Brian Haar at first, he was hit by a pitch. Dave Popkins represents the tying run. Wild Things trying to fight back. Down 6-3 with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Frosch set. The pitch to Popkins. Outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Dave Popkins at the plate. Ricky Rodriguez on deck. Represents the go-ahead run. Frosch set. And the 1-0. That's a called strike at the letters. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 runs already in for your Wild Things. Looking for more. Frosch set. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and fouled away by Popkins. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Wild Things down 6-3. 2 runs in already in the inning. Is Jimmy Yezzo an RBI double? Jamal Austin a sac fly. Frosch set. And the 1-2. Inside it hits Dave Popkins. Bases are full of Wild Things. And now the go-ahead run coming to the plate. 2 straight hit batters. Bases full of Wild Things here. Only 1 out. And that will bring up Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez drove in the first run of this ball game with an RBI double back in inning number 2. It was 1-0 Wild Things at this point. And now going out to argue is Andy McCauley, as he didn't think that that ball hit, or that he thought Dave Popkins had swung. For Andy McCauley, he's entering his 6th season as the Evansville Otters manager, holding the position since 2010. He won the Roger Hanners Manager of the Year award in 2014 and also led the Otters to the playoffs for the first time since their 2006 season. He led the team to their first winning season since 2005 when they won 51 games in 2013, and he's managed in the Frontier Leagues ever since 1998. He's managed the Kalamazoo Kodiaks, the Schaumburg Flyers, the Quebec Capitals, and the Kansas City T-Bones, and the London Werewolves, where he won a league championship in 1999. Ricky Rodriguez up. The go-ahead run. Bases full of Wild Things with 1 away. Rodriguez has 2 home runs on the 2016 season. Bases full of Wild Things. Yezzo at third. Haar at second. Popkins at first. Frosch set. Here's the pitch. Rodriguez takes for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Bases full of Wild Things. Rodriguez represents the winning run. Frosch looking in. He has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0. Rodriguez to center field. Sweeney coming in. It'll carry out to him. Will make the catch. Here comes the throwback in. Not in time. Another run scores. And it's now 6-4. Sack fly by Ricky Rodriguez. Scoring Jimmy Yezzo. And your Wild Things only down by 2 now here in the 8th as they're fighting a comeback. 3 runs in already. And that brings up Logan Ox. Ox now represents the go-ahead run. Ox 0 for 3 could make a lot of friends here at Consol Energy Park if he can come through. Runners at first and second. The tying run stands at first base. 6-4 the score. Frosch set. 2 outs, bottom 8. Here's the pitch. Ox takes for a strike. A very nice curveball there by Ken Frosch. And there's no balls and a strike here on Logan Ox. Frosch looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. Ox a swing and a miss on a ball way outside. No balls and 2 strikes. Logan Ox signed this afternoon, making his Wild Things debut. Frosch looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Checks hard second. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a foul tip. Ox strikes out as it's in the glove of Julio Rodriguez. And that is out number 3. But 3 runs coming on the inning for your Wild Things on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And after 8, the score, Evansville 6, your Wild Things 4. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network. When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Top of the 9th, your Wild Things currently down 6-4. Pitching change as Andrew Wick comes into the game now to pitch for the Wild Things. Wick on the year, 1-0, 2 saves, has 5 ERA. He is appearing in his 9th game. Has thrown 7 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 6 runs, 4 earned on 2 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. As we said, 1-0 ERA, 1-0 with a 5 ERA, has 2 saves on the season. And due up for the Evansville Otters to face him, John Schultz, Chris Breen, Nick Baylog. Wild Things score 3 in the bottom of the 8th, make this a game again. It's 6-4 in the top of the 9th. Andrew Wick facing off against John Schultz. Wick looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. Bunting. It'll take it outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on John Schultz. Schultz involved in a scary play a couple innings ago as he slid into the left field wall. Jammed his wrist, but other than that, he seems fine so far. Wick's 1-0. And this ball hit off to the left side and foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. 6-4. Your Wild Things down 2 here in the top of the 9th as they've made a comeback, scoring 3 runs in the bottom of inning number 8. Andrew Wick on the mound. Was the closer at one point for this team, but pulled for Zach Groats. He's been having a great season for the Wild Things. Wick set. Here's the 1-1. That one's inside. A nice catch by McKeon behind the plate. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count, nobody out here in the top of inning number 9. Wild Things down 6-4. Andrew Wick trying for a clean in 9th inning here to get the Wild Things back to the bat rack, see if they can win it in the bottom of the 9th. Wick set. And the 2-1. And this ball's popped up, foul territory, and it'll go back into the seats. Count goes to 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out top of the 9th. 6-4 the score between the Evansville Otters and your Washington Wild Things. Evansville leads here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wild Things dropped Game 1 by a score of 3-2, currently losing 6-4 here in the top of inning number 9. Andrew Wick on the mound, facing John Schultz at the plate. Wick set. Here's the 2-2. And, just low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count here. Chris Breen, the designated hitter, on deck. It's Wick looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2 pitch. And this ball's hit to the foul territory over on the left side. Rodriguez giving chase towards the wall. And he will not make the catch as he runs into the screen. And the count will remain 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out from Consol Energy Park. 6-4 the score between the Evansville Otters and your Washington Wild Things. Game 2 of this 3-game series. As Andrew Wick's taking over here in the 9th. Final line on Brian O'Keefe. Went 1 inning, gave up 1 run. It was earned on a hit and 2 strikeouts. Wick's 3-2 pitch. And that one's also fought off at the plate by Schultz. Count sticks at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count, 9:50 here on the East Coast from Consol Energy Park. Almost entering our 3rd hour of play. Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. Wick looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And inside, ball 4. So a leadoff walk here to start the 9th after 3 runs coming in. And that gives Evansville a leadoff base runner. That'll bring up Chris Breen, the designated hitter. Breen on the day. 1 for 3. Grounded out in the 1st. Struck out in the 4th. Hit a sacrifice fly in the 6th. And singled in inning number 7. John Schultz, the runner at first base. He walked. Here to lead off the 9th against Andrew Wick. Wick looking in. He has his sign. Checks Schultz at first. And the throw over there. And Schultz is back. No outs top of the 9th. Evansville leads 6-4 over your Washington Wild Things. Wild Things scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th as they tried to fight back in this one. Wick checks first. Has his sign. And the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, top of the 9th. Evansville leads 6-4. As looking in is Andrew Wick. He has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0 pitch. That one's outside as well, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Wick, as we said, only 2 walks in his 9 games. Both those walks coming in his first outing of the year where he really got roughed up against Gateway. Wick set. And the 2-0. Swung on and missed. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 9th. Evansville leads 6-4. Andrew Wick on the mound, his 9th game. The 5th pitcher used by the Washington Wild Things. Wick set. And the 2-1. That one grounded, base hit down the left field line. Schultz around second. He's heading to third. As Andrew Heck gets the ball in the corner, Schultz going to be waved home. Here's the throw. It's not in time. An insurance run added on the RBI double by Chris Breen. It is now 7-4. Evansville leads here in the 9th. Nobody out, runner at second. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Nick Baylog. So Wick comes in, gives up a run. The Wild Things bullpen just hasn't been very good today, as they have given up all 7 runs. Luke Wilkins, 5 scoreless innings to start this game. And 4 runs given up by Brandon Hinkle, 1 run by Sam Agnew-Whelan, 1 run by Brian O'Keefe, and so far 1 run by Andrew Wick. No outs, top of the 9th. Wild Things down 7-4 now. Wick set, checks second to pitch. And this ball hit the left field and deep. Heck a couple sets back in front of the track. He'll camp under to make the catch. That's out number 1. Breen acted like he was going to move up to third to fake the throw-in from Andrew Heck, but Breen stays right where he is at second. 1 away in the top of the 9th. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Sweeney. Sweeney today is 2 for 2. Single in the 2nd, single in the 4th, walk in the 6th, and a sacrifice fly in inning number 7. Wick looking in. He has his sign from McKeon as he's going through his signs. Not liking what he's seeing. Now he has one he likes. Checks Breen at second. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, top of the 9th. Wild Things down 7-4. As they're trying to get back to the bat racks in the bottom of the 9th. Wick set. Checks Breen at second. And the 1-0. And that one is low as well. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Wick looking into McKeon. He has his sign. He's set. Checks second. And the 2-0. That one grounded off to the left and foul. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of inning, or top of inning number 9. 1 run in already for the Evansville Otters on an RBI double by John Schultz. As Andrew Wick looking to get out of this. Runner at second, 1 out. That's Chris Breen. Breen reached on an RBI double. Wick's 2-1. That one's high and outside for a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count, top of the 9th, 1 out. 7-4, Evansville leads here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wick set, checks second. And the 3-1. Outside ball 4. 1 out walk, and there's now runners at first and second. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Kurt Wirtz Jr. Wirtz Jr. today is 0 for 2. A walk, a ground out, another walk, and a strikeout. Walked with the bases loaded, so he does have an RBI. Kurt Wirtz Jr. the batter. Evansville leads the West Division standings coming into this one. Wild Things sitting 3rd in the East. The pitch. Swung on a miss. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Kurt Wirtz Jr. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. 7-4. Evansville leads your Washington Wild Things. Wick set. Checks second. And the 0-1. Swung on a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. He blew that fastball by Wirtz Jr. 0-2, 1 away here in the top of the 9th. Andrew Wick on the hill. Chris Breen at second. He reached on an RBI double. Chris Sweeney at first. He walked. Wick set. And the 0-2. Ground ball to second base. Har to Wobrock to first. And not in time for the double play. 4-6 on the fielder's choice. And there are 2 away and runners at the corners. Now as Breen moves up to third, Sweeney thrown out at second, and Kurt Wirtz Jr. reaches at first. 2 outs top of the 9th. Evansville leads 7-4. And that brings up the catcher, Julio Rodriguez. Randy McCurry, the closer, warming up in the bullpen. We saw him last night. Andrew Wick looking in. He has his sign. He's set. And the pitch coming to Rodriguez. And that one is outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things down 7-4 here in the 9th. Wick set. Checks Breen at third. Here's the 1-0. And that ball hit the left field. Heck going over to his right. And he will make the catch in foul territory. That is out number 3. But another run comes in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. 8.5 over the score. Evansville 7, your Wild Things 4 to the bottom of the 9th as Wild Things looking to come back and win this one here in the bottom of inning number 9. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Randy McCurry taking over on the hill. We saw him last night. He threw a scoreless 9th inning and collected his 5th save of the year. McCurry, appearing in his 9th ball game, has thrown in 9 innings, giving up no runs on 3 hits, 4 walks, and 13 strikeouts for the Evansville closer. He will face for the Wild Things here in the 9th Logan Ox, Alex McKeon, Andrew Heck, Alex McKeon, and Austin Wobrock. 7, 8, and 9. Wild Things trying to make a comeback. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th as back-to-back singles by McKeon and Wobrock. The sac fly by Austin, followed by an RBI double by Jimmy Yezzo, made it 6-3. And 2 hit by pitch low to the bases. A sac fly by Rodriguez made it 6-4 before the Logan Ox strikeout. Andrew Heck stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 9th. Heck today 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. McCurry set. Here's the pitch. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. No balls and a strike on Heck. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard tomorrow afternoon, 4:05, first pitch here on the MSA Sports Network, the 0-1. And that one is outside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, bottom of the 9th, Wild Things down 7-4. McCurry set. Here's the 1-1. And that one's in there, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As in between innings, Andrew Wick went and had a conversation with the home plate umpire, a very heated conversation, before he went back to the dugout. McCurry's 1-2 pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Nobody out here. Bottom 9. Wild Things down 7-4. Here's McCurry's 2-2. And that one's outside as well. Ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Andrew Heck looking to get on to start things here in the 9th. McCurry's 3-2 pitch. And that's outside, ball 4. Leadoff walk. Gives the Wild Things the first man on in the inning. And that'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 1 for 3. Flew out in the 2nd. Grounded out in the 5th. And singled in the 8th. The catcher for the Washington Wild Things batting with a runner on and nobody out here in the 9th. Wild Things down 7-4 here from Consol Energy Park in Washington, Pennsylvania. McCurry looking in. He has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch to McKeon. Strike 1. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things catcher. Andrew Heck at first. He reached on a walk. Nobody out, bottom 9. Wild Things down 7-4. McCurry set. The 0-1 to McKeon. And this one ground to the right side. Picked by the new first baseman for the Evansville Otters. As Chris Breen moving over to first base, taking Nick Baylog out of the game. He takes it to the bag himself. That's out number 1 here in the 9th. Heck moves up to second base. That'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock 1 for 3. Struck out in the third, grounded out in the fifth, and singled and scored in the eighth. Facing Randy McCurry. McCurry, a scoreless inning last night, retiring the Wild Things 1-2-3. McCurry set. Here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Austin Wobrock. Wild Things trying to fight back, down 7-4. 1 out. They have a runner at second. McCurry set. Checks Heck there, the 1-0. That one's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Austin Wobrock. 7-4 the score. Wild Things trying to fight back here in game 2 of this 3-game series. McCurry set. And the 2-0 to Wobrock. And that one's a called strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, 1 away, bottom of the ninth from Consol Energy Park. Wild Things down 7-4. Tying run on deck. Here's McCurry's 2-1. That one's fouled away. Count goes even at 2-2. Wild Things currently at 500, trying to get above 500 with a win, but if they lose, they will fall below 500. For the first time since the Lake Erie series. 2-2 the count. McCurry set. Checks Heck. Here's the pitch. That one's outside for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jamal Austin, the on-deck batter. 1 out, bottom 9. Randy McCurry versus Austin Wobrock. McCurry set. The pitch. And this ball hit the right field and deep. Going back, and it is off the wall. Wobrock around first, heading to second. He'll get in there with an RBI double. Scoring is Andrew Heck, and it's now 7-5. An RBI double by Andrew Heck. And the tying run coming to the plate in the form of Jamal Austin. Austin today 0 for 3. Ground out in the first, ground out in the third, strikeout in the fifth, sac fly in the eighth. A run in here for the Wild Things. It's now 7-5. They're trying to fight back. Jamal Austin up. 1 out, bottom 9. McCurry set. Checks Wobrock at second, the pitch. That one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jamal Austin. Facing Randy McCurry. McCurry set. The 0-1. This one grounded to short. Charging is Gomez. He makes the play. Throw to first. And that's out number 2. 6-3 on the putout. Austin Wobrock moving up to third on the play. Last chance for the Wild Things. Jimmy Yezzo, the designated hitter. Yezzo on the day. 1 for 4. Popped out twice. Popped out in the first, popped out in the second. Flew out in the sixth. And doubled in a run in inning number 8. He represents the tying run. Austin Wobrock stands at third base. Jimmy Yezzo, the batter, versus Randy McCurry. McCurry set. Here's the pitch. Yezzo takes. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth. Austin Wobrock stands at third. The 1-0. Yezzo takes way inside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs. Bottom 9. 7-5 the score. Jimmy Yezzo, the batter. McCurry set. Here's the 2-0. Yezzo, a fly ball down the left field line and deep, but it goes foul. 2-1. 2-1 the count. Yezzo represents the tying run. Brian Haar on deck represents the winning run. 2-1, 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. 1 run already in. Wobrock at third. Randy McCurry versus Jimmy Yezzo. McCurry set the 2-1. Yezzo to center field. Sweeney going back, and he will make the catch. And that ends the ball game. Yezzo flies out to center field. Final score, Evansville 7, your Washington Wild Things 5. We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. The Wild Things postgame show is coming up. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Wild Things dropped this one 7-5 to the Evansville Otters. Their losing streak now going to 4 games. Going to go over the scoring recap. Here the Wild Things would get on the board first as Dave Popkins would walk in the second, and one batter later, Ricky Rodriguez would drive him in with an RBI double. That gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead, and Luke Wilkins was fabulous in this start. 5 innings, no runs on 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks coming on in his Frontier League debut. However, he was pulled in the 6th inning and disaster struck. Brandon Hinkle came in. Josh Allen started things with a double, then a walk to John Schultz. A double steal had runners at second and third. Chris Breen would hit a sacrifice fly to make the score 1-1. Then a single by Nick Baylog had runners at first and third. A walk to Chris Sweeney loaded the bases, and Hinkle was pulled. Sam Agnew-Wheelan came in and walked in another run. That made the score 2-1, Evansville. Then after a fielder's choice, got a runner thrown out at the plate. There were 2 outs. Christopher Rio Pedre, a 2 RBI double. That made it 4-1, Evansville. Then in the 7th inning, they would add on, have a leadoff walk to John Schultz. A single and a walk would load the bases, and a sac fly, RBI, would score another run, making it, at that point, 5-1. Then in the 8th, they added another run on as Brian O'Keefe came in to pitch, gave up the home run to Chris Rio Pedre. That made it 6-1. Your Wild Things tried to fight back in inning number 8 as McKeon and Austin Wobrock led off with singles. And a sac fly by Jamal Austin scored McKeon from third base. An RBI double by Yezo scored Wobrock. That made the score 6-3. The Wild Things would load the bases. Then after 2 hit by pitches, another sac fly by Ricky Rodriguez made it 6-4. Evansville would add an insurance run in the 9th as a leadoff walk to John Schultz. He'd be driven in on an RBI double by Chris Breen. That made the score 7-4. Wild Things would try to fight back in the 9th as a leadoff walk to Andrew Heck, then a ground out by Alex McKeon, and an RBI double by Austin Wobrock made it 7-5. Then Jamal Austin would ground out and Jimmy Yezo would fly out to end the game. Final score, Wild Things lose 7-5 to the Evansville Otters, and they dropped the first 2 games of this series. However, we're now going to look to Game 3 tomorrow afternoon, 4:05 first pitch. Trevor Foss will be on the hill for your Wild Things, the number 1 man making his 5th start, 4:05 first pitch. You can hear it right here on the MSA Sports Network. Wild Things drop Game 2 tonight in this 3-game series. Now down, have lost the first 2 games to Evansville, are currently on a 4-game losing streak, and they lose by the final score of 7-5. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night, everybody.